What's up, guys? My name is Wicked here on the Toilets to Titles podcast network. We're going to be coming at you today for the next few hours, giving you some draft insight and live coverage as we work our way through the 2024 NFL draft. We've been waiting, and it is finally here. I got a few guys here with me today that are going to be rocking through these picks. I'll start over here with my guy Mike at Dynasty Dog. Mike, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you? We finally made it after a long wait.
Yep, we've been speculating for a long time. It's time to see who goes where, who gets a good landing spot, who doesn't. Oh, and then down here below me, I got Mark Simon. How you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going? This is weird. Rams have a first-round draft pick.
I know.
What does this mean? What are we supposed to do?
Well, I mean, give it time. They still have an opportunity here to trade it away.
That's true.
And then down there, I got AJ. How you doing, AJ?
What's up? I'm doing good. Just excited to finally be here. It's been a long couple of weeks leading up to this. Anticipation.
How many mock drafts do you guys think you've done in the past few months?
Oh, God.
6 or 7, I believe.
Yeah.
It's been quite a few.
Yeah. It's been a very long process for me because I feel like this draft class has been getting hyped up since before the 2023 draft even started. We started hearing about Caleb Williams and Drake May and Marvin Harrison Jr. A year and a half ago. It feels like the wait for this has just been incredible, and so I'm happy that we're finally here.
Yeah, it was in Dynasty. It was like, go get your 2024 first round picks now, right after the 2023 draft. I'm like, can I enjoy Bijan for like 5 seconds, guys?
Nope.
Like, come on.
Can't. No.
Done and over with.
Yeah.
Well, in Dynasty, I was positioning myself with 2024 picks like mid-season last year because I just knew that this draft class was going to be full of fantasy relevant options. That's something you got to think about on the fantasy side of things, is that there's tons of good draft classes throughout the years, but not all of them are good for fantasy. They're not all fantasy relevant. This draft class has some high-end QBs at the top. It's got a lot of good wide receivers, and it's got a good middle class of running backs that I think are going to find significant roles on teams depending on their landing spots. So like with last year, you had the couple of guys at the top in Stroud, Bryce Young, and then Bijan. Your best receiver was JSN, and he didn't do a whole lot, and then it really felt like there wasn't a lot of depth. And so this draft class has been getting touted for a long time, and I'm excited to see where these guys get picked up at.
Yeah, not only that, today on the pre-show for the draft, Daniel Jeremiah said something like he has, I think, 11 wide receivers in his top 50.
That's
like
insane.
That's insane. I love to hear it, though.
Yeah. Well, it makes for exciting football.
Yes. Yeah, we don't have to talk about any of those boring linemen and all that stuff.
Right.
Give me the skill positions. Give me the exciting players.
Well, I mean, there's a ton of tackles in the class too. Man,
true.
If you're a team that needs an offensive lineman, you're in luck this year as well. There's 5 or 6 really good tackles. I think there's another 3 or 4 that are going to end up being solid starters with some development. And then you've got probably 7 starter quality centers, which is insane. You can get a starting center probably round 5 this year because how many teams actually need a starting center? And then there's a bunch of guards that have position flex. They could be offensive tackles, offensive guards, just depending on what a team likes in them. A lot of guard centers. I mean, this is a really good draft class. I would say the area where it is really light for me is the linebackers. I don't see a lot of good linebackers in this class. I think that guys like Edgerrin Cooper are getting pushed up past their ability just based on scarcity of the position this year. But overall, I think that this draft class is rock solid, and I cannot wait to see where some of these guys land. We've been predicting landing spots for so long now that it feels like we're just waiting on the edge of our seat here. So
yeah, the running back position's a little bit light too, I would say.
So I would say that the running back position is missing those
top name
end guys. Like it doesn't have a Bijan or a Jahmyr Gibbs that's going to be, you know, a top 10 pick and a locked in fantasy asset. But there's a ton of guys I think that are going to win either lead committee roles or just outright. Like I think Jonathan Brooks, if he didn't have that ACL, he would have been in the conversation as a first round pick. I think I'd say he's a first round talent at least. And then he's got a 3-down skill set. I think that guys like Trey Benson can really carve out large roles for themselves in a, you know, 2-back committee maybe. But you're not having there's no Bijan coming in to save the day for a franchise this year, which, you know, honestly isn't a bad thing for a fantasy perspective, because you don't have to pay Bijan prices to get a good running back. You know, a lot of people have been down on this running back class in fantasy, and that creates a value opportunity where, you know, a lot of these guys aren't as bad as some people are trying to make them out to be, and you can get good value on them and get, you know, a league average starting running back to plug into your lineup.
Especially people are so into the receiver class.
Yeah.
And by people I mean me, that they don't care about the running backs at all, and are just going to use all their rookie picks on receivers.
Yeah. Well, the receiving class is definitely going to push the rookies down forward. And I think that a lot of people are going to get burned by some of these receivers because they're so hyped up about this receiving class that they're gonna reach a little too far when they should, you know, maybe be looking at a running back or something like that, and you're gonna be disappointed. I don't think there's as many. I think there's a lot of good wide receivers in this class, but I don't think there's as many fantasy relevant wide receivers as people are trying to make you believe.
How many fantasy relevant guys do we think are in the first round that where they get drafted doesn't impact how they're going to perform in fantasy? How many of those guys do you think we got?
Are we talking all positions?
Yeah, like I guess quarterback,
just being drafted today.
Yeah. So you got your top three quarterbacks for sure. Then you got your top 3 wide receivers for sure. So that's 6. I think Brock Bowers will do fine no matter where he goes. There's 7. And then,
I'd be a little concerned with any quarterback that goes to New England right away for at least the first year.
Yeah, but it's so easy for a quarterback to score points on a bad offense in fantasy.
That's true. That's fair.
Yeah.
Quarterback is one of those positions where even if the offense sucks, the team sucks, the quarterback can still give you 18, 19 points a week, which is, you know, fine for a quarterback. There's the top 7 I say are absolute locks to produce anywhere, no matter what.
Any other receivers outside the top 3?
I think every receiver outside the top 3 is a bust risk.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are looking at like Brian Thomas Jr. as wide receiver 4. I'm not a big fan of his.
Who've you got at wide receiver 4?
I like Xavier Worthy as wide receiver 4.
Interesting.
I love Worthy.
I think that, you know, Worthy obviously blew things up at the combine and started catching hype there, but I liked Worthy before the NFL combine. He's not just fast. He was on the same field as A.D. Mitchell and outproduced him. And everybody says that A.D. Mitchell is getting drafted above Xavier Worthy that I've talked to. Like, why? You know, he's bigger, sure, but that's about it. Worthy is a good receiver. He's not just fast. And I think that he's going to get drafted to a team in the second half of this draft that's going to, you know, be a good offense where, you know, he's not going to be somebody. He doesn't need to be wide receiver 1. He doesn't need to be the guy that's getting 20 targets a game. He can be the Tank Dell of an offense this year. And I think that he's got the skill to do it, and he's got the speed that scares teams. And no matter what your skill set is, if you're that fast, you're going to get on the field because that speed is so valuable in breaking down a defense.
Yeah, I with him, I really like him as a route runner and as with the ball in his hands. I just worry about like making tough catches over the middle and that surviving contact, that kind of thing.
That's the thing that you got to worry about with the smaller guys. Like, can they stay healthy? Is he going to be able to make it through a whole season? Can his body physically hold up to the contact that it's going to be taking through a 17-game schedule? Mm-hmm. If he can, I think that he's going to be a great producer.
Yeah. Well, I also worry not just staying healthy, but just holding on to the ball in those situations. I think he has like relatively good hands compared to maybe what people think, but it's just those he's not going to be making contested catches or anything like that.
No, that's not.
I do think he had a wrist injury though, or something like that.
He broke his hand.
Yes.
If you watch him in 2022, his hands were kind of all over the place, kind of a mess because of that broken hand he was playing through. Mm-hmm. This 2023 tape looked a lot better.
Yeah, I get really frustrated when people call him just a speed guy or just the John Ross, the guys that never work out in the NFL.
He can get open.
Yeah, he can get open, and he's also got like 3 times the college production most of those wide receivers we're talking about have ever had. Like John Ross had 1 year of production out of 5. Genesis says, I'm faster than Xavier Worthy. I don't know if I believe that. That's impressive, though. But yeah, I'm very excited to see where he goes. If he goes to the Chiefs, it might be gangbusters, to be honest with you.
Do you guys think he goes to that?
I could see it.
Who? Worthy to the Chiefs?
Or just goes in the first round at all?
No, I think he goes in the first round for sure. I'm not sure that he makes it to the Chiefs.
Okay.
I could see Worthy going early 20s.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. I've heard the Colts are interested in him, that's a pretty popular Brian Thomas spot. I have him in my final mock. I have Thomas going to the Colts, but I wouldn't be shocked if they went Worthy.
Wicked, what don't you like about Brian Thomas Jr.?
He doesn't separate very well. He can do 2 things really, really good. And because he can do these 2 things really, really good, he's going to have a role on the team because they work together. So he can run a go route really, really well. And then he can run a comeback or a stop route really, really well. And if you can have those 2 things in your toolbox, because, they work off of each other so well, there's synergy in those 2 routes, there's going to be a role for you. But my problem is I don't think he can do much else. He's not, outside of that, I don't think he's a very good route runner. I don't think he gets much separation. His advanced metrics are not very good. I think that he's going to be a receiver that has some use to a team in the NFL, but does not have much use to a fantasy squad. I don't think he's going to be a consistent fantasy performer. That doesn't mean he's not going to be a useful NFL receiver. But those aren't always, that's not a good NFL receiver doesn't always translate to a good fantasy producer. And so I think that's going to be the case with Brian Thomas.
Yeah. I see him as being a little more well-rounded than that, but I think early in his career, you're right, and that's how he's probably going to be used. I think he's going to be used like early career DK Metcalf, where it's just run straight, run past people, and run stop routes.
Yeah,
and like that's about it. But I think, he moves so well for his size. Like he's such a fluid mover. And he does some good things as a route runner, even if they're not consistent. So I think he can develop them and become like a DK Metcalf type of producer. And like the comp I gave for him was Martavis Bryant, who didn't have the longest prime. But
I did love Martavis Bryant though.
More because of off the field stuff, yeah. But no, it's totally possible that he just ends up as a one-trick pony. He never really develops.
To be honest, I don't really see, and this is going to be a hot take, I guess, and piss some people off. I don't really see much of a difference between him and Xavier Legette besides age. Like they're very similar. They're both very raw. I would say Xavier Legette is much more physical than Brian Thomas is. and that's a thing that bothers me about Brian Thomas Jr. But yeah, I could see him being a better NFL player. I could agree with you on that. I could see him being a much better NFL player than a fantasy producer, but he's one of the players I'm avoiding in dynasty drafts.
Yeah, me too.
I
want somebody else.
I'm very low on Leggett compared to Brian Thomas. I think Thomas runs is a much better route runner, but Leggett. I'm also like I don't think you can find people that are lower than me.
I think Thomas also has a pretty large catch radius.
Yeah.
So does Leggett too, though. Let's not forget.
That's definitely Leggett's strength.
Leggett's a good hand fighter in his routes too. I really like that about him. He'll create a catching window for himself just with his hand fighting, the DB. His late breakout kind of concerns me a little bit.
Agreed.
Those guys with their late breakouts, they've got a really high bust rate once they get into the NFL. So,
particularly late breakout.
Yeah. But again, like one thing that I got to think about here is that he's part of the COVID year, and we still have all of these guys that are coming in that basically lost a year of real football. A lot of teams still played, they still did some stuff, but it wasn't a normal progression for these guys.
Yeah. Especially if you're a young player who's trying to learn your offense.
Right. I think until we get past the point where these prospects had to go through that, there's going to be a lot of variance that maybe historical data doesn't back up, just because this is it's kind of a unique situation.
Yeah, for sure. What's our over under on the time left on this pick by the
they're going to take it all the way down for sure. Less than 30 seconds.
I've already seen Caleb Williams celebrate. Like just tell me who it is at this point.
We've all
the pick is in. The pick's
already
in.
Pick is in. They'll still wait.
Yeah. It'll take them the extra 10 to walk to the podium.
At least the Bears did their job.
True.
So do you guys have like final mocks that you did?
I do.
I did not. I just wanted to be surprised.
Yeah, that's fair. So what, Wicked, what's your first I don't know when the draft really started. I guess at 5 maybe is. I assume your consensus.
I got Williams. I got Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, 1, 2, 3. Then I got Marv. Let me pull it up. I think Neighbors was next. I can't remember.
Okay.
What if he just comes up to the podium and is like, LOL, we take Joe Alt.
Ha!
Got him.
Tyson Bagent, quarterback of the future.
Hey, his dad's like the most world-renowned arm wrestling champion ever. So more power to that guy.
What?
Yeah. You didn't hear that whole story? His dad is like the greatest arm wrestler in history or something like that. Or not in history, but like the best arm wrestler in this time, like now.
That absolutely rocks. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. That was like the big story when Tyson Bagent came in, is like his dad was like the more talked about person for about a good 3 days.
I missed that one, I guess.
Anything with wrestling, I'm listening, even if it's arm wrestling.
All right, no shock.
Color me surprised on that one.
Yeah, I can't tell you how happy I was when they traded Justin Fields, that we didn't have to listen to people saying that the Bears were going to keep Justin Fields anymore. Oh
man, that was a brutal 3 weeks.
I honestly would have.
No, they're not going to pass on Caleb Williams for Justin Fields, if for no other reason to reset the contract window.
Yeah,
that's true.
Exactly.
That's one way I didn't look at it. I just thought of the absolute mortgage they would have gotten for the 1-1.
Yeah,
if they kept Justin Fields.
If you guys are Washington, anybody taking May over Daniels?
I am.
I like May over Daniels, but I still think Daniels is going to be the pick here for the Commanders.
Oh, 100%.
But
he was the
I
best
think
Topgolf player, apparently.
I think May has the higher ceiling as a quarterback.
What about how about fantasy?
I also think he's got the lowest floor too. So I think May could totally bust just based on his he's kind of got that gunslinger reckless play style to him a little bit. And he's got some mechanical problems that I don't think are going to be easy to fix. Coaching is going to be really important for him, which is why I think he's got the widest range of outcomes. I think that like Jaden Daniels has his athletic ability that can prop him up for the beginning of his career. And then, Caleb, I think is obviously very elite prospect that is going to carry himself. But I think May is going to really need some good coaching in the beginning of his career to kind of correct some things that he's got going on.
I totally agree. I love all these Bears executives getting up, clapping, other like anything has changed.
Right. They made the pick like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
I think one thing May has going for him is he's already used to playing behind a horrible offensive line. So,
yeah.
Jaden Daniels does terrify me when it comes to running the football, though. Like, that is somebody that needs to learn to A, slide, or B, step out of bounds, because he has taken the most insane hits I have ever seen from a quarterback. He looks like a Looney Tunes character every time he gets hit.
I worry about him getting drafted by the Commanders and playing on that terrible field.
Yeah.
With his play style, that field is dangerous, man.
Same goes for New York too, though.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Caleb, though. A lot of people were, giving him some slack for the person that he is, but the dude can ball. That's all that matters.
People are also assuming they know what kind of person he is based on a few.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, exactly. That's the most annoying thing.
He's a young kid, man. Let him be himself. I think that older football fans are seeing the younger generation of football players come in, and it's a very different personality type for the most part. And I think there's a little bit of a disconnect there that they're going to have to adjust to.
Yeah, the older guard needs to get over it a little bit.
Yeah.
And like as a fan from the outside perspective, or like a fantasy player, like we don't get to interview him. Like if the teams want to make decisions, if they don't think he's like the type of guy that they want to take number one, that's one thing. But like as a fan, how can you we have no idea.
Yeah, none of us have ever had a single conversation with him, and like all of the interviews and stuff that I've seen him do, he's always very respectful and polite, and all of those things that you want to see out of a leader. People just like to throw their ass in the air sometimes.
My thing is I saw one. It was like somebody online was saying like a GM said he's like Prince or something like that. I like compared him to being like Prince. I was like, isn't Prince one of the like most world renowned musicians ever? Isn't that a great thing? Like we're trying to make that a negative. I was like, I don't know how that's a negative.
Yeah, it's like you're comparing him to somebody who is one of the greatest at the thing that they decided to do with their life of anybody ever. Like, that would be awesome if Caleb Williams would be that. So with this next pick, so I think all of you, and I kind of agree, said that you would take May here rather than Daniels. What about for fantasy purposes? Are you taking May over Daniels in like dynasty rookie drafts?
I think I am, just because I think he's the better quarterback. I think long term, I think they'll figure out. So for dynasty, I'd rather have him.
Okay. Yeah. So for me, in Superflex option, it depends on the way my team is built currently. I like to have one quarterback have high rushing upside, and then one to be like a safer quarterback. To be honest, so a couple leagues I have like, I don't know, Anthony Richardson and Jared Goff. Just in case Anthony Richardson gets hurt, I have Jared Goff there to supplement some of my points. So it just really depends on my team build. I do like Drake May just slightly more than Jaden Daniels, and it's just based on things that I've watched. And I feel like he's a better build than Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. Yeah, Daniels definitely has the injury concerns.
Yeah, I like May better in fantasy as well, though. I don't want to be on the clock trying to pick between them.
No, that's why they went to Topgolf.
Yeah, I think like the way I see it, it's kind of like worst case scenario for a fantasy perspective. Jaden Daniels is Justin Fields, where he gets you, maybe not worst case scenario, but like that's probably one on the lower end of outcomes, like where he's good in fantasy while he's a starter, and then he's not a very good quarterback, so he doesn't do his job.
Yeah.
Does his time at Arizona State scare anyone?
No.
He was a much different quarterback there than he was at LSU. And
yeah. But back to his freshman year, though, he was awesome his freshman year. And then he regressed, / defenses adjusted to him, and he didn't really adjust back until he got to LSU.
Yeah.
It definitely, I mean, it's a worry how long it took him to like really figure things out. But I think he always like had this kind of thing in him. Like we saw, like his freshman year at Arizona State was really exciting.
Do you think he made the receivers at LSU better, or the LSU receivers made him better? Jaden Daniels is off. Yep, there he goes.
That's kind of what I was asking. I just think I do like Brian Thomas Jr. So I think with him and Neighbors both there, you had two stud receivers. So it's obviously going to improve his game having those two guys there.
Yeah, for sure. I think
he also had Ayuk at Arizona too, right?
For just that true freshman year where he was really good. And then Ayuk left. And then funnily enough, he had after that his receivers at Arizona State were Ricky Pearsall and Johnny Wilson.
Wolf.
And then they all left.
Yeah. It's going to be really interesting with him. He's a very talented quarterback and football player. So like my biggest concern with him is learning to slide because, like I said, those Looney Tune type hits he takes. My comp for him is literally he runs the football like Steve Irwin lived his everyday life, very dangerously.
He's like he thinks he's Josh Allen. Like he thinks he's the size of Josh Allen. That's how he runs, but he just can't. Like,
yes, it is National Backwards Cap Day, as
I
Justin says in the chat. That's the hip way to do it, as the kids say. Now here's where it's going to get really like interesting with the third pick. Does New England move? Do they stay in place?
Man, I don't see how you can trade back out of a QB position when you need a quarterback. Obviously the preferred method of team building is that you have all of the pieces and you're missing the quarterback and you just go grab him because they're so expensive cap wise that it's difficult to build an elite roster once you have a QB contract on the books. But when you're sitting at pick number 3 and there's an elite quarterback prospect there waiting for you, you don't pass on him. You take him because you never know when you're going to be in that position again. And maybe in 3 years when you're ready for your quarterback, you're going to have a really hard time getting into position because it's so expensive to move and trade into those slots. Good job. You can't have candy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what I think New England should do. I kind of agree with you. They should take a quarterback, but part of me has been thinking lately that they have so many holes. Like, if they had maybe one receiver, I'd be a little bit more comfortable. They have
you don't like Kendrick Bourne?
Demario Douglas, I guess.
Demario Douglas, the man.
There. Come on. KJ Osborne, the huge free agency signing.
They could get
picks in. Apparently they're not trading.
They ain't messing around. I mean,
they really are not messing around.
I get that they have a lot of holes, but the biggest hole they have is a quarterback, and you've got a chance to fill that with an elite prospect. You don't mess around. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't have nothing. So you just need to go get him when you have a chance.
I'm with you. I feel like if you think your franchise quarterback is there, you do whatever you can to get him.
So here's what if you're New England? So seemingly they are going to take Drake May, but hypothetically, if you're New England and you're like maybe you're halfway sold on Drake May, but you don't, because I'm a little bit lower on him than it sounds like you guys are. So like in that case, I think the move would be to trade down rather than just like, oh, we're here and this guy is highly regarded, so we got to take him. Yeah. So I think like a lot of it comes down to just what that specific team believes about that player.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is though that they have a rookie head coach. This is his first year with the team as the head coach, and if I'm the head coach that's coming into this program that has no quarterback, you're getting me a quarterback. You're not You're not trading out of the pick. I need you to get me a quarterback to build a team around, and I'm going to be really upset if I don't get one. And so I got to imagine that's a conversation that happened ahead of time, because coaches do not get a lot of leeway for the most part. It's either I don't care if the team's rebuilding. I want to win games now. And we saw what CJ Stroud did for the Texans. Everybody thought that team was going to be horrible, and then he came in and lit it up. And so that just kind of reinforces that owner's side of the point where I don't care. I'm going to get you this quarterback. You're going to go win games.
Now, my question to you is, if they do take Drake May, does Jacoby Brissett start the season, or does Drake May go right into being the starting quarterback?
I don't see any scenario where May isn't starting week 1.
Because there's a lot of people that think he should probably sit a year. Yeah.
Should he sit a year? Probably, but will he? Absolutely not.
It may just be timing, but they just showed Drake May on TV, and he did not look like he just got a call. We're going to see.
Dude, JJ?
I will laugh. I'm sorry.
Get out of my room, please.
Okay, it is. It's Drake May.
Oh, I'm behind.
Oh yeah,
ESPN did not do that photo justice.
Do I gotta go to ESPN to not be so far behind?
Yeah, maybe. I thought NFL Network would
be the bigger one. Spoilers for us.
Damn, I'm not surprised actually.
So, so you don't think there's any way because I'm thinking like back to, I mean, we had Trey Lance was the 3rd overall pick.
Yeah,
he sat a whole year. Herbert was like the 6th pick, right? And he was initially sitting until a doctor decided to stab Tyrod Taylor in the lungs.
That is the most unfortunate man ever.
Yeah, we've seen high picks like that sit before. So, and I do think Brissett is like a very high level backup.
Yeah, I like Brissett. I think that Brissett is a functional NFL quarterback that can run your offense, and obviously he's familiar with the program over there. But again, rookie coach. I don't have time for my top 3 quarterback to sit on the bench. We got to go now. Should May sit for a year? Probably so. I think most rookie quarterbacks that come into the league should sit for a year and learn their offenses and learn their systems and learn the NFL speed. They're not very often afforded that opportunity because they need to win now.
See, I don't know if I agree with the whole most of these guys should sit. Everybody talks about like breaking their confidence and stuff like that. I feel like if you're playing at this level, you should be able to go out there and have growing pains and not lose your confidence.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. For me, it's not so much the confidence thing. It's I think that quarterbacks who have like significant mechanical issues really need to sit and I think Drake May is one of those guys because I can't imagine how hard it would be to try and work on like improving your footwork while also trying to learn an entire new offense, like while also trying to like do all these different, like there's so much on your plate as a quarterback. I think the best scenario is to have time to work out your mechanical issues. You can work on the side with your own quarterback coach or whoever. And then once you have that stuff figured out, you can get into game situations, and then you can start making mistakes and learning, because there's certain types of things that you only improve on with game experience, and then there's other things I think that you only improve on outside of games, like mechanics. So that's kind of how I see it. But I do agree that the confidence thing I think is kind of overblown.
Yeah. I also think there's certain situations too. Like if you're sitting behind like a Tom Brady or an Aaron Rodgers, one of those guys, yeah, there's a lot of benefit to that. But like, I don't know, Jacoby Brissett,
He's a good bridge, like we said, you know.
He's definitely a good bridge, but I mean, I just don't know sitting behind like you're learning a ton.
Well, I think if you're sitting behind a guy like Brissett, who's like not overly talented, but he's just made it in the league for a long time, like that's probably a guy who does things the right way and like knows how to handle himself in a quarterback room. So there's probably like stuff like similar to Mahomes with Alex Smith. Like Alex Smith wasn't anything special of a player. He was just kind of a okay starter. But like Mahomes talks a lot about how much he learned from Alex Smith.
That's a good answer. I like that. I like that thought process. I have some similar worries about May. I called him like the child of Justin Herbert and Carson Wentz, and that Carson Wentz portion is what scares the absolute hell out of me.
Yeah,
because he will put the ball in some really dangerous positions at times.
Yeah,
but if you can get the best of Carson Wentz out, it could be scary hours.
His confidence gets a little reckless sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
This pick is in now. This has got to be Marv, right?
You would think, yeah.
I would say yes.
Well, if you use the ESPN mock draft simulator, this would be a quarterback every single time. So.
I can't imagine the Cardinals are taking a quarterback.
No, I would be pretty surprised.
I can see Devontae Smith is pretty happy with the AJ Brown signing on Twitter right now. Because a lot of Philadelphia-based news outlets were saying that they had issues and, you know, they weren't going to pay both of them and blah, 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 blah. And look at us now. We're finally out of the James Thrash, Todd Pinkston era of football.
Dallas needs to sign CeeDee Lamb before those contracts start looking like QB numbers.
And they're starting to a little bit. They're getting there. Like what St. Brown got a big bag. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith.
Yes.
That a Monroe contract is crazy.
Yeah.
He's it's hard to say he's not deserving, but it's a lot of money.
No, he's awesome. But it's just, and they have to pay Goff too soon, I think.
What if Arizona doesn't take Marvin Harrison Jr.?
I'd be shocked.
They in fact did.
Okay, good. Okay.
All right.
Must be a little ahead of you.
Yeah. Everybody can celebrate because they're 4 for 4 on their mock draft.
Yeah, exactly. This is going pretty chalk. Somebody's got to throw.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to throw a wrench in here.
We can start actually talking about the draft now and like what we think is going to happen. Who do we think the pick is here?
I want them to pick Herbert, or I want them to pick for Herbert. He needs somebody to throw the ball to, man. QJ is not it.
No,
agreed.
I think it depends if Chargers stay with this pick. Knowing Harbaugh, if the Chargers stay with this pick, it's probably J.C. Latham.
That's a good Jeremiah mocked. It's crazy. I have Alt in my mock. We'll see.
That wouldn't be shocking.
Harbaugh loves his big boys.
Yes. I think if they trade down, I think it would be, and they would get Latham then. And they could take Latham here easily, but I don't know. I don't really like study offensive linemen, so I don't have my own opinions on them really. But
I would put Alt above him as well, but I'm a huge Michigan fan, and Harbaugh loves the huge big boys. 360 pounds, that's right up his alley.
That's essentially what won him the national championship.
For sure.
All right, guys, we're going to take 45 seconds here in between these picks and listen to our man Justin about our rival sponsor.
For those that aren't already aware, Rival Fantasy is the newest evolution in fantasy sports. Rival's all-in-one fantasy platform has changed the fantasy sports landscape. From fantasy bingo, where you mark off boxes of achievements that your players accomplish on the field, to season-long and best ball leagues, to mock drafts and challenges, and more. They have the perfect user-friendly website and app for you. So send a challenge to your friend or send a challenge to your rival and tell them to put their money where their mouth is. But your first deposit of up to $200 will be matched, plus an additional $25 just for using that link, joinrival.com/titletribe. That's joinrival.com/titletribe.
All right. Thank you, Justin, for that shout out to Rival. So what do you guys think? The Chargers going to stay, or are they going to trade back?
I do think they should stay and take a wide receiver, but I do think what Mark was saying, Harbaugh does love offensive linemen. He loves ground and pound type football, so it wouldn't shock me if they move back and take an offensive lineman.
Well, now that the Chargers are on the clock, I got to go grab my Justin Herbert jersey.
What are you watching?
My phone keeps falling over. I would be feeling so sad for Justin Herbert if they don't take a wide receiver here, to be honest with you.
They got to get him somebody to throw the ball to.
His nickname on Sleeper, you know how you can change their names and stuff like that on Sleeper, is for me, it's "Sorry, LA is doing this to you."
Poor guy. He doesn't deserve it. He's too nice. That's my theory.
Yeah, it's true.
He's got to go.
No, it's okay.
Like, give me my receiver. Although I guess you also can't complain about getting a guy who isn't going to get you killed.
It's true. True. I wonder, I mean,
If they
Well,
want
if
to
this-
take an offensive lineman, I would be trading back a little bit.
that's what I think.
Yeah,
Just my personal opinion. You can get a good offensive lineman if you slide down just a little bit, pick up another pick later.
Yeah.
I
The only thing is Tennessee's probably going to take one at 7. So, like, if you have a specific guy you have to have, that's why you would stay.
Yeah. But I think, like, the thing that is probably so attractive about Alt is that he's like a ready-made left tackle, which the Chargers don't really need. So that makes me maybe think that they would either go Latham or move back. If the plan is Latham, I don't see any reason to not trade this pick.
I mean, I think the longer this goes, the more likely a trade's coming. I think. In my
It would
brain.
seem that way, yeah, for sure.
Well, picks 1 through 4 went pretty much how everybody expected them to, so it's not like they got hit with a curveball.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
But I would also think that they would probably have whatever deal in place already. Pending.
If someone moves up, who is it?
Vikings, take
That's-
McCarthy.
That's what I'm thinking too.
How about a team coming up for Alt to get in front of the Titans,
Maybe.
or
Who
a team
would that
coming up
be?
with Neighbors or whoever, or receiver, to get in front of the Giants?
I have to go and see who's. I gotta look at like what the actual
Out of my room now. Go.
picks are in a row because I keep trying to look at the small ticker at the bottom, and it's too small for me to see. So I wonder who could move up.
If somebody's coming up,
That's-
my money would be on the Vikings for sure.
The Jets can move up for a tackle, couldn't they?
I kind of don't think they go tackle.
No, they don't. I wouldn't say they go tackle. The sign's Tyron Smith.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. I did forget they did that. You're right.
and
That's
Morgan
my bad,
Moses
I forgot.
traded for Morgan Moses. They could take tackle at 10 if like, but I don't know. I would be surprised.
Got a
Picks
minute
in.
and a half left. Oh, it is. Never mind.
Popped up.
Oh, please don't be JC Latham, man.
If that's the pick, They're gonna have a stand video of Justin Herbert. Your Chargers are road you still ain't called.
Trust in the khaki pants. Trust in Harbaugh, man. He'll do good things for your team.
That's yeah, it's true.
Maybe.
He's done good things as a coach. Like I said, they need a NFL draft red zone. No commercials, just straight to the pick.
I saw a tweet that was saying like they should have a red zone type thing for the draft where they show like each team's like war room and like them all on the
I like
phone
that.
and stuff like that. Like that'd be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that'd be some inside access.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Who is this they're showing right now? Is that
I think it's neighbors. Yeah.
Yeah.
He don't look too happy.
He wasn't on the phone.
They did that with Drake May though, apparently
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that's true.
What if it's JJ McCarthy? This should be. Oh,
I love the people being like saying they trade Herbert to the Bears for the number 1 pick and take JJ McCarthy number 1.
I think it's definitely going to be either Latham or Alt. It's one of the
yeah.
two.
I think a wide receiver. I think
I don't see Harbaugh taking a receiver.
Yeah, I hate to say I agree.
the Giants are next, and then Tennessee. Okay.
You think there's any chance the Giants go JJ?
Well, I mean, I think there's definitely a chance.
Yeah, I think there's a chance.
They
too,
want to
'cause
be
they're
out
really-
of the Danny Dimes game next year.
Yeah. Well,
And the problem with having him this year is he might play them good enough to the point where they're not going to get a top quarterback next year
yep.
without trading up.
Goodell is moving slower than I remember. His speed rating for me would go down.
Oh, well, okay.
Film reviews.
Try not to spoil it.
It is all right.
Makes sense though.
I
mean,
That makes me feel a lot better than JC Latham would have, but I'm still sad.
I mean, let's be fair. Like, yes, he could like get the on number one wide receiver in the top 5 pick, but like we talked about it earlier, there are so many good wide receivers in this class. You could still push out Quentin Johnson with like at least 90% of them.
Oh, easily. I will say though, that's kind of why I wanted them to trade back if they weren't going to go receiver, because then you could get maybe a couple other day 2 picks, whatever, and then you could like double up on receiver, or because I mean the receiver depth chart is a disaster.
Joe Alt is a big fella.
Are we writing Q off?
Yes.
Yeah,
He's
he
so
was
bad.
off for me in
He's
the
so
draft.
bad. I was never interested in him. I didn't like him
Fantasy-wise-
last year.
No chance of improving at all?
Fantasy wise, I'm writing him off. Yes.
Well, fantasy-wise, like as an NFL receiver.
To be like a number 3 receiver who like can make some plays with the ball in his hands, that's possible. I think, but not.
I
much
could
more.
agree with that part. Yeah, I could agree with that part.
Based on his draft capital, that would be a bust.
Oh,
100%.
My
Especially-
co-host of the Dynasty Dogs just
I was-
texted me and he goes, Justin Herbert's going to be throwing to you and I out there.
I was sitting in the same house wearing the same jersey with head in hands when they took. I was begging for Zay Flowers, and they took Quentin Johnson.
Mm.
Also, not even a Chargers fan, but whatever.
Yeah, I never understood why people liked QJ to begin with. I was never impressed.
Everybody says Steve Smith likes every single receiver, but I remember him hating Quentin Johnston for some reason.
I do also think I was pretty low on him, but I do think the Chargers did him no favors with how they used him last year. Like his whole strength is just you get the ball in his hands and like he breaks tackles and like they were just using him as like an X receiver, which never made any sense.
Now, here's a question for you guys, real quick. If the Giants decide to go wide receiver here, is it Neighbors or is it Rome? I know you guys are all. I know, AJ, you have Neighbors over Harrison, but like I feel like Rome would be the better pick for them because they don't have anybody over like 6 foot on this team currently at wide receiver. I'm pretty sure. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, Neighbors I think is probably the better receiver, but I think that Rome would fill a bigger role for the Giants specifically, and they're practically touching as far as talent level goes. But just based on what the Giants have in the receiver room currently, I think that Rome would be the better selection for them.
So does that mean Neighbors goes to Atlanta or Chicago? Because I've heard Atlanta possibly taking another wide receiver, or whoever falls out of those two. I don't think Rome would fit in Atlanta just because Drake London being there, they would kind of counteract each other a little bit.
I mean, I don't think they would do that or do this, and I don't think they should. But add Malik Neighbors to that receiver room with Cousins throwing to them, and that would be fun. But no, I think Falcons probably go defense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I think Atlanta and Chicago are probably prime trade out spots.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Chicago. They only have 4 picks in the whole draft. Outside
Really? Oh yeah, you're.
Or maybe four picks from now on, like not 5 total picks, I guess.
Mhm.
I'm not, something like that.
All I know is the Giants got to get this wide receiver pick right if that's what they do, because I still remember Giants fans being very upset that the Eagles took Devontae Smith and then they got stuck with Kadarius Toney, and that just hasn't worked out for anybody involved.
Oh, don't worry though. They got that extra first that turned into Evan Neal, so it's fine. When they traded back to get just terrible.
Neighbors.
Wow. Okay.
All right, that's my first wrong pick, but
Who did you have there?
I had Odunze,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
but
He don't even look too happy right now. He's like, crap.
yeah.
Yeah, he's got to go play on that New York field.
Yeah.
I don't know why they call it MetLife, because life is hard after your knees start giving out after playing on that field for 5 minutes. That's a good pick. I mean, obviously,
he'll look a lot different next year.
yeah.
Jaden Daniels on Commanders, and then you got Neighbors on the Giants. Some new weapons to guard against.
You think the Cowboys are a team that goes wide receiver in the
No,
first or second round? No.
I think they are almost definitely taking an offensive lineman
Mhm.
first. They might even slide back a little bit to try to pick up another pick and still get an offensive lineman. The fact that they let their starting center and starting left tackle walk in free agency without putting up much of a fight kind of tells me that they like this draft class and they're going to grab one or two of them.
I could see that.
I think that they probably like Zach Frazier, Graham Barton a lot. I saw some reports today that they're not as high on Jackson Powers Johnson because of some medical stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple of the kind of like mid-tier tackles, those 5 or 6 guys that could turn into something, need some development that they're interested in as well. Aside from that, they need to find themselves a running back and a linebacker, and you can do that later on. But I think their first 2 picks, at least their first pick's definitely going to be an offensive lineman. I would be surprised if it wasn't somebody. I've been trying to think of who would have to slide down that far for them to not take an offensive lineman, and I can't think of anybody.
Mhm.
Maybe Newton, the defensive tackle, if he were to make it down there, but
You don't think receivers in play for them?
I don't think so. Not in the first round. It's not a big enough need. They've got CeeDee Lamb. They've still got Brandon Cooks this year. Jalen Tolbert has been a serviceable wide receiver. I think they'll probably pick somebody up, but they've got. It doesn't matter who they have out there at receiver if they're missing a left tackle and their center. Like they got to find somebody to immediately come in and start in at least one of those positions.
Well, I think they might move Tyler Smith out to tackle.
They might.
And then interior linemen you can theoretically probably get later, which you can also get receivers later. But I think receiver is as big of a need as any position on their roster. I mean, Cooks, I think, is done at this point. Like, he's
Cooked.
So
yeah.
I'll be interested to see what they do if they try to make some sort of move to win their fan base back a little bit in the first couple of rounds here, because the Dallas fans have basically been calling for the Joneses' head on a spike since the season ended against the Packers. And then Jerry Jones comes out and says, "Oh, we're going all in," and then they do nothing. And so people are really upset. And I would not be surprised if they tried to do something splashy to get people back on their side. Personally, I'd like to see them trade back maybe 5 spots, pick up a third or a fourth, because they do not have a 4th round pick this year because they sent it for Trey Lance. And they can still get a starting offensive lineman while also picking up another pick. And then I think you can still get a really good receiver in the 2nd round. And then if they trade back and they're able to get that extra pick, I think it gives them more flexibility to take a receiver in the 2nd. And because right now it really feels like they're going to have to force at least one offensive lineman pick in the top 3 rounds for sure, probably the top 2. And I don't love if they want to get an interior guy, I don't love their choices at the end of the 2nd round. I'd like to see them make that selection in the 1st. I think there's a big middle crop of tackles that you can kind of pick your poison with between the end of round 1 and the end of round 2. So I like that section of the draft for them.
Who are those guys that you?
I like Patrick Paul. I know Tyler Guyton's been mocked to them a lot. I don't like him as much. I think he's a riskier prospect. Blake Fisher's another guy that I really like the tape on. Obviously, none of these guys are sure bets, but I feel like that if they can get a solid 4 offensive linemen, and then maybe their left tackle needs some help. If you've got one, weak link in your offensive line, you can provide help. And that's the thing about your tackles, is that it's easy to throw a tight end on that side or a running back on that side to make sure that they're getting a chip and they're getting help on their plays. I still don't love it. I don't love the idea of a so-so left tackle, which is why I think that it's at least somewhat likely that Tyler Smith moves out to left tackle. I think he's a great left tackle. The only thing there is that I think he's a top tier left guard, and I think he's just a really good left tackle. So I think there's some downside there, obviously. Yeah. But Dallas backed themselves in a corner with what they did with their O-line this offseason.
Yeah, I don't get what they were doing at all. I feel like good, well-run organizations will sign like mid-level free agents at like every position of need. So then when you go into the draft, you can just take best player available rather than go in with like a really specific need that you have to take.
Yeah, they didn't do that at all. Unless they've got a couple of linemen that played some games for them last year due to injury, like Tyler Bass. I think that they probably like him a little bit at guard because he had some good games last year. So maybe they're looking at some of their down roster guys that we don't get a lot of information on.
Right.
And they're saying, I really think like maybe Coach McCarthy's like, I think that this guy's ready to start for us at left guard this year. And then we can move Tyler Smith out to left tackle. And now we just need to draft a center. We don't have all of that information, but the plan still doesn't sound very good to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, what do we got the Titans doing here? Because I feel like Alt was such a common mock pick for them.
Yeah, Alt was, I think, the number one mocked player to them.
JC go here, but they really need a left tackle, and he's not a left tackle.
No.
So
I think they need both tackles though.
yeah,
They could go. I mean, they need. I feel like every spot on the offensive line, other than
Guard. They took Swarovski last year. Skoronsky. Let's see. I mean, it's going to be very interesting. If you, I don't know if you guys have looked at Twitter, but Dynasty community is all over the place right now with the Giants pick of Malik Neighbors. I've seen Malik Neighbors is completely off my board. I've seen Daniel Jones is alive and well now. So nobody knows how to react to this.
Well, the good thing is that Neighbors gets really, really open, which makes him a really easy target to hit.
I saw someone post say Drew Lock to Neighbors is going to feed families.
I legitimately think Drew Lock is as good, if not better, than Daniel Jones.
JC for the Titans.
It's a good pick. That makes sense.
Kind of killing my mock. I took a risk with Adunze instead of Neighbors. Silly me.
Are we going to get through the top 10 without a trade?
Atlanta, I think,
probably
is
where it
prime.
starts. Yeah.
Do you think that JC Latham can play left tackle, or you think they're going to keep him on the right side?
That's not a question for me. I'm no
That's
offensive line guru. But I mean, it seems like he's very much a right tackle, just like based on play style and everything. I mean, I feel like he's that classic like road grading right tackle who is better in the run game than he is against the pass. But we'll see. I'm not even
phone messing up because I keep getting in the Gilded chat just the same message over and over again. Is anybody else getting that, or is it just my phone maybe doing this?
It's not. I have not gotten that. No.
No.
I mean, you can't also really go wrong with Alabama offensive linemen. Typically,
Well, Evan Neal, not so good.
man, you put Roger down.
Pick is in, it says,
Already for Atlanta?
for Atlanta.
Oh, they're going defensive lineman, I think.
Jared Verse?
Yeah.
Or
probably.
Turner, I think, was the other one I keep saying. Is it Turner from Alabama?
Yeah, Turner is my pick. Verse, I feel like, isn't really a fit for Raheem Morris's defense. He's a 3-4. I mean, I don't think Verse really would be like a 3-4 end. I think he's probably a 4-3 defensive end. Turner is a 3-4 outside linebacker who would fit really well. And I've heard comps of him to Leonard Floyd, who the Rams gave like $70 million when Raheem Morris was their defensive coordinator. Nope. We lost.
Oh, like it's going.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Alabama's a sample. You can't replicate the dynasty and what we do over there. And, they're here now. I get a chance to represent them.
How will you set the tone for this new look?
Watch the Falcons take a quarterback here.
To be honest, like that's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I don't think that's like as crazy as it might sound, but it's not smart. I could see them taking like Rattler in the 3rd round or something.
Yeah.
Am I far behind? Because it's not saying the pick is in for me yet. It's just JC Latham still.
Well, I think he's watching on ESPN.
I'm on ESPN.
Okay, yeah.
And as I say that, Schefter's on here talking about the Falcons were strongly considering taking a quarterback in the 1st round.
And here we are. Oh, he's back.
You switch spots on our screen. You're gonna throw things off.
I can't be in the top. Yeah, thank you. I can't be the head of the table. I'm not Roman Reigns. I'm not the head of the table. Yeah, it's good. This is where it's going to start to get really interesting. There's going to be, I think, teams looking to move up. I think the Rams are still a team that wants to move up. I've heard Jacksonville randomly, like right before we went on, was a team that was looking to move up. Indy, Philadelphia. Like, I'm just praying the Eagles move up to take a corner. I don't really have a preference in either one between Arnold and Mitchell. I think both of them could be very good. It just really depends on what the new defensive coordinator is going to want to do, if they want like more of a man corner or a zone.
Yeah, if I remember, I think Raheem Morris is a pretty zone heavy.
I'm talking about for the Eagles.
Oh, all right, okay, yeah.
Well, the Falcons could take a corner here too. I mean, like, I know that's probably not what they're going to do here, but I think their only real corner of note is AJ Terrell, correct?
Yeah, depends on, I guess. I don't think the Jeff Okudah trade worked out very well.
I was surprised. I thought he would have been okay there. You know, it's just like a second or third guy, but
they have Clark Phillips, who is a good player. He's just really, really undersized for an outside corner, and he's been playing outside.
I did like the Jesse Bates signing last year by them too. That was huge.
Yeah, that was a great.
He had a good season.
He's a stud.
Yeah, he did.
Their defense, like, they need guys that can get after the passer, but if they can get some pass rush, it's like a decent looking defense. The secondary is, if AJ Terrell can, he wasn't great last year, but if he can bounce back a little bit, it's like not a terrible defense.
No way.
Don't spoil it.
Oh,
Who'd they take?
Oh my God.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
This makes me think
They take Rome or JJ.
I'm not gonna spoil it for you.
You're gonna have to watch this on your own.
I'm seeing Michael. Let's go.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Dude's gonna be almost 30 before he gets to start.
And you have Kirk Cousins there.
That is mind-boggling.
That really feels like a wasted pick.
They could have definitely moved back for that.
Yeah.
I think, but I love Michael Penix, to be honest.
I don't get it.
That is insane to me.
It's not even like about Michael Penix. Like I'm
The position that I mean, it logistically doesn't make any sense, even if you like Penix.
yeah.
They're going to play. We're going to score 97,000 points and give up 900.
Oh boy, the player comp that NFL Network is giving is Joe Flacco.
Oof.
First of all, I don't
that's
think
nice.
at all. But second of all, that doesn't inspire much confidence, I don't think. I'm floored by that.
The JJ McCarthy stand group is going to be very upset.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're gonna lose their minds.
That's like JJ would have made a little bit of
As a
sense.
Michigan fan, that hurts.
I'm sorry, I wasn't taking a shot at you, but the Twitter is heavy with the JJ love a little bit.
I think JJ would have made a lot more sense there than Penix.
Oh, absolutely, right?
Yeah,
the
I could
young
agree
guy.
with that.
To sit
Although
behind him.
I don't think either one of them really makes sense there. Let's just be
No,
clear on that. But I think if you're going to take that shot, then McCarthy's the better one to take.
Right. That I mean, I'm
Doesn't make any
stunned.
sense. Why?
I do love Michael
doesn't all
Penix,
that
though.
money
So.
Why throw the bag at Kirk if you
And
plan
then
on
draft a
Yeah.
QB? Like, wow.
Unless, I mean, are they maybe afraid that his ankle injury is a little bit more severe?
Well,
than
if
they
they're
once thought?
afraid, then
Well,
they
then
shouldn't.
why'd
have
they
thrown
You
give
the
shouldn't have
bag
paid
at
him,
him.
right? I
Money.
agree, but like,
Didn't they give him like a 4-year contract too?
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Wow, that's crazy.
Are they doing trade bait? Like, did they like I would do in my dynasty drafts? Take one and then trade.
That's I think that's probably the most surprised I've ever been for a single draft pick.
Bears
Yeah.
pick is in.
They're taking a Dunes.
Means
Yeah, I
no
think it's
trades. Jets probably take Bowers, right, at 10?
Yeah,
Or-
that's what
yeah.
I've got.
I really don't love Dunze to the Bears.
Not
For-
right away.
For the Bears or for Dynasty?
for
Fantasy?
Dynasty.
I honestly do. I think
It'll be fine later. I
Mhm,
think
that's
his
what I
time
think
will
too.
come, but there's gonna be not enough targets to go around initially.
A lot of mouths to feed.
yeah. Keenan Allen's old though.
He's
He's
still
old, but he still is a fucking target hog.
Sure.
I'm gonna
But
try
I
to
do,
find
the
any.
fit at least is good with like Keenan Allen's your slot, DJ Moore's your flanker, and Odunze's your X, which I think is a great fit. I could also was saying this. I've been saying this for a while in our Mike and as Dynasty rookie mocks. Is I loved the idea of Bowers here to the Bears.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I do remember.
Something I
you
haven't
saying
really
that.
seen. I don't think is going to happen, but
Actually, now that's you just mentioned Dynasty, it actually makes me think like, where does Penix go in Dynasty rookie drafts now?
it's a really good question.
Because like now I don't know, like, could he be a back end first round pick? Yeah, but
Yeah.
like you're gonna have to wait. You know what I
2
mean?
years.
Yeah, at least 2 years, you would think. But like that spot is just so good in general. You know what I mean? Well, we think anyway.
I'm still.
So I don't know.
I'm still.
I am floored.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, I'm saying I wonder if the Bears take Odunze here.
I just lost the notification, but something popped up about the Vikings trading up to the Jets spot.
I still see the Jets. I still see the Jets ahead of them on the ticker.
Okay, it
Yep,
is
there goes
the-
Yeah, I
Odunze.
still do too.
I mean, I think that's a really good pick for the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be
buddy of
that's going to
mine.
be a really, really fun offense.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. That Penix pick was not chalk at all. It's still throwing me through a loop. And it happened like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, boy, you're in a premium draft pick position to grab somebody to help your team win now after you just paid a boatload of money for a quarterback to come
Yeah,
in.
I'm still floored.
It just does not make any sense.
It's
Oh,
a
they
way
must have
worse.
traded- My
And-
ticker's now showing 10 and 11 to Minnesota.
Ooh,
Are they
Thanks.
taking JJ?
mine still says Jets, but you're on ESPN, so
Yeah.
that's interesting. So they probably traded 23 then. That's really interesting. So that makes me think JJ and then like the top defensive player, whoever that
Could
might
be.
be.
Because they lost
Unless they
Danielle
just didn't
Hunter.
update the ticker. I don't know.
yeah, they could definitely use an edge rusher.
Oh, there
I
it
think-
goes. Now Jets are at 11, so they did.
Okay.
So it's got to be JJ, right?
I don't see why else you trade up.
Yeah, they're just protecting themselves.
They really think that Jets would take a quarterback there, though?
I think they might have called the Vikings and said, "Hey, you come get him, or we will."
Denver moved up.
I think it's probably to
Oh, no.
avoid
I'm confused.
the potential of Denver or Vegas moving up.
Yeah, that probably makes more sense.
Okay, so it's the Vikings, Jets, Denver next. Okay.
This
Yeah, Denver's still at 12.
Ari says Jets get number 11, 129, and 157.
Okay.
I don't think the Vikings
Like
had very many picks. Are they? I forget.
I'm actually really happy for Michael Penix, but it's a very confusing pick.
I'm not. I want him to start somewhere, like
True.
not in, like before I'm dead. My God,
Yeah, he's already what 23, 24 years old.
he's 24. I think,
So
already.
he's an old prospect coming in.
Mhm.
He's going to be sitting for at least 2 years, I'd say.
This is like if the Lions had taken Hendon Hooker at 8 instead of like in the 3rd round.
Yeah, it's a very good comp.
Or like it's a way worse version of
They
what the Packers
they have
was.
Cousins' contract up right now is 4 years, $100 million guaranteed.
I still think this is even more crazy than if the Lions did that.
Yeah, because I mean,
Contract that they gave Kirk.
I mean, yeah, why, dude? Doesn't make any sense.
so the Vikings also got a sixth back, and they gave up 11, a fourth.
Fourth and a
It's
fifth.
actually not a terrible deal. Doesn't
I mean,
feel
yeah,
like
it's
anyways.
Oh, my Twitter's going crazy. It's got to be JJ.
I'm gonna be right back.
Yeah, I think it has to be JJ, right?
Oh yeah.
I think they really tried to move up to get May and probably just couldn't get it done. So
Well, yeah, it takes a trade
A lot.
partner, and,
Yeah.
and if the Patriots wanted to stay put and take their guy, then there's nothing you can do about it.
If I were the Giants, I would have really pushed the Patriots for May. I would have offered anything I could have to try to get up there. Because they were at what, 6?
6.
Yeah. So I mean that's not that far of a drop for the Patriots.
watch they take Bo Nix. Really just keep screwing with people. This now is starting to get fun. Like in the beginning, it was so chalk, and then Michael Penix is like, psych. I love watching Twitter blow up too.
And what do you think of your Kirk? Like,
I'm
here
not
you just
worried
signed
because
this-
I got $100 million guaranteed.
No, you're
contract.
not worried, but I mean, like, here your team could have helped your team.
Yeah, I'm upset if I'm anybody on that team.
I do want to go back to the Odunze pick, like we mentioned it. I really do like that. That might take a year, like you mentioned, but I really like him and Caleb growing together. Man, let's light this candle. Let's get something else crazy going on here.
Yeah, if any other quarterback goes before JJ.
That'd be bad news. That would be the Will Levis treatment for sure. I'm trying to figure out how to go through my old tweets on my laptop because, like, I want to find Michael Penix tweets. I'm on a commercial break with YouTube TV currently. Just watching flowers and sunsets and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys have YouTube TV or not. It's awesome, but like I hate these computer laptop pictures that they just keep playing over and over again.
I had gotten the YouTube TV for the Sunday ticket this year.
Same here.
Really? Was it good? Was it worth it?
Yeah. It was at least accessible.
Mm-hmm.
When the Sunday ticket was on, because I live in Seattle, but I'm a Dallas fan. So like I'd have to use some sketchy websites sometimes to watch my games because I can't get a satellite dish to get DirecTV Sunday ticket. So when they switched it over, that was actually really nice.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like is I did it with the Red Zone package.
Yeah.
And I would do the quad screen and have the Red Zone as one and then 3 other games. But the Red Zone was always so far behind the other games that you'd basically just be seeing replays on there if you were watching one of the games they threw on.
Yeah, so you're basically what the NFL Sunday ticket commercials were made for, living in Seattle, being a Cowboys fan.
Yep. But I'm moving to Texas this summer.
Oh yeah,
I won't have that problem next football season. It's gonna
nice.
be. But for
Let's
the
see
past
that.
10 years, I've been living in Seattle and desperately trying to catch Cowboys games. And I have 4 kids, so going out to the bar and watching the games isn't always an option. So we had from time to time had to find some websites that you can stream the games for free. Don't tell nobody.
Just,
I've had
just the 355 people that are watching this right now.
Yeah.
I've had that problem my whole life. I was a Steelers fan in DC or in Maryland.
Yeah.
The old DirecTV Sunday ticket was the best.
Okay, Goodell, come on, tell us who it is.
Is one of the
Vikings.
Looks like this family's gonna make the pick.
Oh, okay. They paid Sam Darnold too, right? Like $10 million for 1 year.
The Vikings. I don't know his contract.
It's a good question.
Yeah, let's go.
Was it? Okay.
Good
I
boy.
feel like I know what the answer is. To be honest, I'd be so stressed if I was that kid having to read off somebody's name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty chalk right there.
Well,
So who
McCarthy's
went to
gotta
the
be
best
happy
situation?
Going to
JJ.
Minnesota to throw to Jetta.
Actually, JJ or Caleb, but
Caleb. Yeah.
JJ had I don't even know who the Bears OC is.
Well, Eberflus is their. I don't know.
Yeah, but he's a
Question.
defense. And Getsy's gone, I assume, right?
Mm-hmm. I think he's in Oakland for some reason.
Shane Waldron.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to think of him. I was really high on him, and then there was that weird thing where JSN apparently hates him from their time in Seattle. I don't know. I think, but the Vikings head coach, whose name is escaping me, Kevin O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell.
He's a great offensive mind, so I think from that perspective, that's and then also obviously Jefferson.
And TJ Hawkinson. When
Yeah,
healthy.
yeah. For Hawkinson, we'll miss most of the year probably, but
Mhm. So what did the Jets do here? Brock?
Brock Bowers.
That's what I would think.
that's what I've got as well.
I think everybody's mock is broken now that Penix will.
Yeah.
I had a quarterback going in that spot, but that's not to that team and not that quarterback.
He was my QB4 of the class too, Penix. Over
Really?
JJ.
Really?
Yeah.
What is this? Are you seeing this, Mike?
Oh, yeah, that shouldn't even be up there.
JJ McCarthy, CJ Stroud side by side. What are
No
we doing?
way. No
Yeah.
way.
They're just
Daniel
showing
Jeremiah
their, like,
just did it.
it was just pictures of their arms like in the same position because they were both throwing footballs.
Whatever. Stroud just had like one of the best rookie QB seasons ever.
Yeah, but how many national championships does CJ Stroud have?
Any chance you think the Jets take an O-line here?
It's possible.
I think it's possible. Yeah, for Aaron Rodgers' Achilles, I think they could.
They could go like Luongo, who can play guard now, and then when Tyron Smith like probably gets hurt or leaves, you can move him to tackle. But I still think it's probably Bowers.
The interesting one is, what does Denver do? Like, I think, but does that happen now that Zach Wilson is there? Like, I feel like Zach Wilson and Bo Nix are just the Spider-Man meme pointing at each other.
Oh, stop it! That's disrespectful to Bo Nix, man.
I'm just kidding.
I think Denver probably. I think they trade down.
Because they need the capital too. Like
Yeah, and that
I
would be a
think
good
that Russell
spot.
Wilson trade.
That would be a good spot for a team who wants to go up for offensive line, because Vegas and New Orleans, I think both could go offensive line.
Mhm. Just keep letting the corners fall.
Yeah.
Where do the Rams pick? Okay,
19.
Yeah, all right. So they're still a distance away.
This was a spot I was saying if Bowers was still around, I could see them maybe making some phone calls.
That's what I was thought too, but maybe it was just too high of a price to pay. The $1 million man said everybody's got a
wow.
price. Damn it, the wow came out. Oh, all right.
Yeah, it is tackle.
Fashion
That's Waldorf, Maryland. What the heck? That's interesting. I'm surprised.
That's definitely a Harry Potter town. Waldorf, Maryland.
I used to play baseball in Waldorf.
Did you?
Yeah. So I wonder, like, do you think he'll play guard to start?
Probably. Well, they got Tyron Smith, which means that they're going to need a tackle for 6 schemes.
Yeah, 100%. I honestly think that's like part of their thought process with this pick.
Now, if Brock Bowers in play for Denver, actually.
Yeah.
Denver needs to
So
fill
much.
a hole at basically every spot
Yeah.
on the roster. So
They just need
Picks in.
good football players.
yeah, the Broncos are in a spot where they truly do need the best players available. Like they just need more talent across the board at every position.
For some reason, the ticker just changed to a full 10 minutes when it was 5 minutes a second ago.
We're getting scammed.
Yeah.
I really think Denver should trade back here. I hope they do.
No, they're
Seth
picking-
picks in.
No trades.
No
Yeah.
trades at
And
all.
we've had what, one? And it was one
Vikings
bit.
moved up one spot.
Yeah.
Take McCarthy. That was it.
I saw a tweet from, I think it was Todd McShay maybe, or Peter Schrager, one of those guys, saying he thinks there could be 10 trades tonight.
He's a little off right now.
Yeah, we're not on pace quite yet.
No, there's so much depth at important positions that you don't have to trade this year as much as maybe you do in other years, because you can sit at your spot and wait, and one of the 3 or 4 guys is going to be there for you. So unless you feel really strongly about one of them, you can just stay put, or maybe you trade back even and still get the guys that you like.
Yeah. It could be one of those things where like everybody wants to trade back, but nobody
Wants to come up.
suitors. Yeah. Although, but like that's not. It was. I heard the Eagles, the Steelers, the Rams, the Colts, the Jags. Like I've heard things about all those teams wanting to trade up.
Well, 5 quarterbacks in the first 10 picks pushes a lot of talent down that those other teams that maybe would have been wanting to trade up, now maybe they don't need to, because the board got pushed down 2 or 3 more spots farther than they expected it to.
Dynasty question for you guys. Drake May or JJ McCarthy?
Great.
I'm all in on Drake May.
Even with the landing spots, plural. Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Great May.
Me too. Even though I accidentally just clicked JJ McCarthy on somebody's poll by accident.
If I were in a dynasty draft, this is a video or if we do Mike, like more shows, like one on Wednesday or whatever. I want to do something on like what I would do with every first round pick in Dynasty. And this is kind of what I would say, if I was in position to take May or Daniels or McCarthy or whoever, like if I was between like pick 2 and 5 and I needed a quarterback, I would just trade that pick for an established quarterback, or like in part to get an established quarterback, then roll the dice on all these different guys who I'm just not that high on the quarterback class outside of Caleb, but
such a high bust rate for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It's scary to draft.
Yeah, even if you are high on the quarterbacks, like you just never know.
We've already had 5 go, right?
Yeah.
I may be in the
first
minority.
11 picks.
I may be in the minority, but if you ask me JJ or Daniels, I might lean JJ.
Yeah,
I mean,
in
in the
fantasy, I
spot,
still lean Daniels just because of the rushing upside, and I think he could run for 1,000 yards this year. But if I were an NFL team, I would probably lean JJ over Jaden. I don't know. I think it's close.
I mean, if you need somebody to just throw 9 games or 9 times a game, JJ's your guy.
Because he didn't throw
I
doesn't
know.
mean he can't.
I know.
I paid $300 to go to that Penn State Michigan game and watch him throw 9 passes.
Oh.
I'll be right back.
Although I think the reason they didn't throw the ball in that game was not because of JJ. It's because of Chop Robinson taking the Michigan left tackle to behind the woodshed.
And plus, that's a rivalry game. Like those are always tough, no matter what.
Plus, that was the
really
game, Harbaugh was locked at the hotel next door, right?
Yeah.
The
That was
suspension.
such a fun atmosphere to be at. Like this pick has been in forever.
I know. It has been in for a while. It feels like. I don't know what they do here because, like we said, they do have a lot of holes, so they could literally go anywhere.
Yeah,
I got to get off Twitter. Twitter has these picks like 5 minutes before it even comes on TV.
I just clicked off of Twitter before it could happen. Although I'm still way behind you, even on TV too. Yeah. Oh, what are we doing here?
I've yet to go on Twitter, so when I do,
What'd you say? What'd you say you thought it was?
What?
No, he said it earlier.
Bowers?
No.
Oh my God!
Spider-Man meme.
Wow! Oh, that's a trick.
Oh, that's right.
Wow, man.
Oh, no.
I'm stunned with the quarterback.
What is going on?
6 quarterbacks in 12 picks. That's half the picks. Obviously, I'm not a math wizard, but that's half the draft so far.
I mean, I'm definitely less surprised by this one than the Falcons one, but I'm still surprised.
Oh.
I'm a big Bo Nix guy. I'm a believer, I will say.
My co-host just texted me saying Bo Nix equals Paxton Lynch.
I like Bo Nix, but I don't think he's the first round pick.
No, me either.
Bo Nix or Penix?
Penix.
Both. I don't think either one of them are first
Oh,
round
I agree.
caliber players.
Well, who do you like better?
Penix.
Penix?
I prefer Nix. But
I prefer Nix over Penix.
Yeah.
I like me some Bo, but I don't like him at pick number 12.
I just absolutely loved the dimes that Michael Penix can put on a wide receiver. It's one of the prettiest balls in this class to me.
Penix is interesting. I feel like when you hear from people who like chart quarterbacks like accuracy, one person will say that they charted him and he's like really accurate and everything, and then Ben Solak from The Ringer said that he charted Penix like however many games and he was the least accurate like first round quarterback prospect that he's ever charted.
Wow.
And then like it's just the charting like can be so different from person to person.
Mhm.
So like I don't really
I
know.
definitely thought he was an accurate quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has really high level moments with his accuracy.
Now,
This big
the
Guardian.
Raiders, I guess, are riding with Aiden O'Connell for another year.
I kind of think Minshew starts,
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
but it could be. You don't think this pick's going to be Spencer Rattler?
Just in my mind, I didn't want to say it out loud. I already did the Bo Nix one. I'm not trying to do that again.
Yeah, and then the Saints can take Michael Pratt, and then
All right, fellas.
Oh, no. What if it's...
We are
I
going to
think I'm
take a
gonna-
quick commercial break here. Are you ready to take over your fantasy leagues and become a champion? Get the edge you need and join the Toilets to Titles Patreon today to get exclusive access to our T2T staff, weekly waiver wire shows, and Patreon exclusive leagues like our signature Frankenstank League. Members enjoy other amazing benefits such as monthly giveaways featuring autographed jerseys, collectibles, Yeti coolers, and more. Sign up now for as little as $9.99 per month and dominate your fantasy leagues like never before. Visit patreon.com/toilets to titles and let us help take your teams to the championship this season.
I'm getting like a million Gilded Chat things, and I think some of them are behind what I'm getting. So I'm terrified of what is about to just happen, because if it's what it is, I'm going to be very upset for an article that I wrote for Toilets to Titles website. Unless somebody's really behind, or my phone's acting up.
Wow. Picks in. I just saw it.
Oh my fuck. Sorry, I don't know if we're allowed to curse, but
Wow.
Oh
Did
boy.
not see him going there.
me either.
Wow.
I have been touting the acquire Michael Mayer bandwagon all off season, and this is just
Well, there's no reason they can't run a 2 tight end set.
this hurts. All right.
A little bit.
I'm very surprised that's what they did. Has there been a defensive player yet?
Nope.
Man.
Oh my
Loving it
god.
for the Rams. Rams are going to have a choice of anybody they want.
I am sick to my stomach right now.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, they play different positions.
That's true.
Bowers is going to be a big slot guy. He's not going to line up in line all that much.
No, I mean, I think he's a decent blocker, but Bowers, I think, is way.
Yeah, but that's not how you use him.
Yeah. I am actually kind of surprised that's what happened there. He fell a little bit further. No, not really.
How many more receivers do you think we see in this round?
I didn't think we were going to see 6 quarterbacks in the first 12 picks. So
Yeah, I think
the
you're gonna start seeing a run on offensive linemen and receivers here, I think, and then there's gonna be eventually a defensive player's got to get taken.
I can tell you it's probably going to be the Rams, if not one before 19.
So Bowers to the Raiders. Interesting. It's a pretty gross landing spot.
Listen, I think you missed my
up there.
Yeah, I am. I wrote an entire article about acquiring Michael Mayer.
Oh, I forgot. I didn't even think about that.
But
Interesting.
Wickett's right there. They do play a little differently, the both of them.
Yeah. I mean, but it's similar to like what I was saying, how I wanted him to go to Chicago. I think it'll be the same situation that would have been, where you have Mayer's like the inline tight end, and Bowers is basically just a slot receiver.
If someone can quickly take down that Mayer trade for Mayer article, quick. Okay. Luke Musgrave still has a shot.
I don't think Like, I don't think I saw him mocked to the Raiders one single time from anyone.
Me either. This is like, I think like we just said, there's been no defensive players taken yet at all.
Yeah. That's crazy. I don't think that changes at this pick. Although, I don't. What do the Saints do here?
Would it shock you if they take a wide receiver?
Yeah. At this
They
pick,
don't have much.
no, you're right. I think in the second round, I think they might go there. But I would be pretty
They have-
surprised.
Chris Olave, and that's it. And I'm not
I don't
even the
think-
biggest Olave guy.
What is this Rashid Shaheed disrespect?
I don't think
I
we
like
can say
Rashid
anything will
Shaheed.
shock us at this point now.
That's fair.
Spencer Rattler.
Hey, get Derek Carr out of here.
Although there's been room, like I have no idea what the Saints are about to do. They're actually a team that I don't think I even thought about what they would take, to be honest with you, because I think they have a lot of holes as well.
Yeah, they definitely do. I mean, before free agency, I was thinking defensive line for them. I could see the Saints, if it's not offense, they could go with one of those defensive linemen. Like what offensive lineman would they take? They just need a left tackle so badly. I don't know who the left tackle that they would take.
What do you need, homie? Gotta find another battery. One more. Go get it. Okay.
Yeah, you ready to say goodbye?
You're a goofball.
Yeah.
What if they? I don't know what they could. Does Brian Thomas go here? Does he stay in New Orleans?
I mean, yeah, that's possible. I have Brian Thomas going at the next pick.
Oh, for some reason I thought Seattle was the next pick. I was like, don't you dare do that to JSN. Michael Mayer's already just getting beat up right now. Let's not do that to JSN too. They need help at offensive line too, though, don't they? The Saints. This pick is taking a while.
Really need a left tackle, which is why I feel like this. I mean, it's taking a while too. This could be a trade down spot now that kind of the like specific left tackles, the top left tackles are off the board.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you think? I don't know if Fuanga could like really play left tackle.
Now where's that dog? Where's that dog? Where is that dog, Daddy?
Is the pick in yet on any of your guys' screens?
No, I don't have it yet.
The pick is in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it just came up for me.
Yeah, it just came up as I asked. Michael Pratt.
When like in the mid-20s maybe.
What's that?
Joe Milton in like the mid-20s maybe now, based
Yeah.
on the way this is going.
I think they should probably take Fauga, right?
You would think.
Yeah.
Joseph Clark, welcome to NY Neighbors.
You might be down.
Mhm.
Then why you always do?
I don't.
Yeah, you always do.
You always do.
You.
All right, they're all clapping, so they did something.
The fist bumps. That dude on the left with the
The biggest thing ever.
I mean, maybe it could be receiver.
Who's their other corner other than Lattimore?
They have a couple dudes.
Yeah.
Alante
think they do
Taylor,
too,
I
but
think.
Okay. Yeah. I couldn't
Paulson
think of who it was.
Debo is. I think their secondary is very good. And then they signed Chase Young too. Not that he's that good, but
Yeah. What a fall from grace he had.
yep.
Yeah.
Taking him. I mean, he was in the Tua, like taken instead of Tua and Herbert, right? In
Yeah.
that same draft.
I think you're right.
That's tough.
It looked like he was a slam dunk pick his rookie season,
Mm-hmm.
and then just nothing.
He got hurt right the next year, I think it was.
Yeah. Of course, because
I thought he
was
was
on that Washington field.
Yeah. I thought he was going to be more of a helper for San Francisco than he was. Oh boy, what did they do here? Okay, there you go.
It is him. So yeah, I guess
Is he part of the bloodline?
part of what?
Is he going to come out the bloodline in WWE?
Stop.
Because they're at I mean, not to talk about wrestling here, but there's been so many popping up. I don't know if you've been following, Mark.
Yeah.
So many Samoans popping up recently.
I think there's going to be a couple more too
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
when Roman comes back.
Mhm. I think he was at the Senior Bowl, right? Yeah, he was. Okay. Yeah, he was solid from what I remember. Like, I don't remember much because I wasn't paying too much attention to the offensive lineman, but I seen him pancake a player or two.
I don't really know much about offensive lineman evaluation, but I watched some Damian Martinez, who's the Oregon State running back tape. I think he'll be next year's draft, and I was really impressed. He looked really, really good to my amateur eyes, at least.
He transferred out of Oregon, right? Martinez.
No, Oregon State, but no, I think he's still there.
Yes, he did. I'm pretty sure. I think he's in the portal.
The running back, Damian Martinez. The running back?
Mm-hmm.
Possibly. I mean, their coach left, so that would make sense.
Yeah, he entered the transfer portal. He hasn't signed anywhere yet.
Oh, he's crystal balled to Miami.
This is where a wide receiver should probably go.
I would love Brian Thomas Jr. here. I think that would be a great fit.
Xavier Worthy.
Because even if Brian Thomas Jr. is what you guys are saying you think he is, where he's just the one-trick pony deep threat, he's just going to be a better version of Alec Pierce, worst case.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, I could see that.
And if he does develop, and him with, again, anytime a player goes to Shane Steichen, that's good, I think.
Yeah, true. Shane Steichen. Man, I really like this Indy offense going forward for dynasty purposes. Like Jonathan Taylor. I thought Brock Bowers was a slam dunk pick for them, but it doesn't seem like that's happening now, obviously. Michael Pittman, Anthony Richardson. So we'll see what they do here.
Oh, man, this is they're showing this quarterback graphic on NFL Network. Is
Unreal, dude.
How many, there's 6, right? So you have to think more than half bust, right?
Yeah, probably. Statistically, only 1 or 2 are going to be good.
Oh, Indy was in talks for a corner too.
Yeah,
That could be a pick for them.
There's still not been a single defensive player.
Yeah, I know. Just hilarious.
14.
Go fantasy football, yeah.
Yeah.
Screw defense.
Points. What's IDP anyway?
Yeah.
All right, get Rappaport off my screen and show me the pick.
I still got clock ticking on my screen.
Yeah, so do I. We're down to like the 316 mark. And I wasn't making a wrestling reference there. That's. I know a lot of Colts fans that wanted to move up and get Marvin Harrison Jr., but like,
that would have been a big jump.
yeah, it would have been a big jump, and that's not something I don't think Indy really ever has done, is make huge jumps like that. They're not a very aggressive team, trading wise, I think.
Well, we do know with Indy, they love their freak athletes. I think we can pretty safely assume that's what this pick is going to be. Brian Thomas, that fits. Quinyon Mitchell.
Quinyon Mitchell is kind of who I've been thinking about here for him.
Yeah,
that's what I'm afraid of.
The whole time I've been saying receiver or corner.
If they take Xavier Worthy, it's pretty much just the meme of Uncle Rico. I can throw a football over those mountains, and Xavier Worthy's the one going to get it.
Run as fast as you can. He'll throw it as hard as he can, and nobody else can be able to get to the ball.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Anthony Richardson can, in fact, throw that football over those mountains.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
End zone to end zone. Easy.
We go 15 straight offensive picks.
I wonder if there was a bet for that. Like, how many offensive picks? Like, what was the over-under?
The over-under for offensive players, I want to say was 20.5.
Like, yeah, we're hitting that in the first round.
We better get a big, although we probably will get a big run of defensive players soon, because there's good corners and edge and defensive linemen.
Yeah, I think the edge class is very top-heavy, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, there's really just the three guys that are generally considered.
Who's your best edge?
Turner versus and Latu.
Yeah, I like Latu.
I love Verse.
Okay.
I'd probably have Verse, Turner, and then Latu.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like that guy from Missouri, Robinson.
Chop Robinson. Chop
Robinson's
Penn State. Yeah.
Darius Robinson.
Darius Robinson. Okay.
He's a big dude.
Yeah, he's more of a tweener between like defensive tackle. Like he could be a 4-3 inside guy or probably a 3-4 outside.
Yeah.
I think he tested well athletically too, if I'm not mistaken.
He's also weird. So there's only like 14 or so players at the draft, and he's one of them. And like he wasn't like really expected
a consensus top pick.
Round. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like that made people think that he would go in the first round, but we'll see.
Let's see.
Oh,
damn it. Is it the offensive run over?
I need that Adam Sandler meme where he's like, "You blew it."
Oh no. What
I think I know what they did. They took
Interesting.
Latu. It's a good pick.
It's a good pick. They just blew the offensive run.
I'm a little surprised by that. I mean, they need pass rush, but I'm a little surprised.
Yeah. I would have put them on a corner.
Mm-hmm. I know there's a couple Eagles fans that wanted Latu, but that ain't happening now.
That also seems like kind of a weird fit, but I don't know.
The Atlanta Falcons are out here playing super flex.
I did not expect him to be the first edge, though.
Yeah, me either.
No.
I would have probably bet Dallas Turner if I had to.
Yeah, he's falling.
More, I would have thought Turner would have went first.
Me too. Yeah, like I'm not surprised by like this range for Latu. I just never would have like around 15. I think I had him going 16 to the Seahawks, but I never would have guessed him being the first defensive player.
Yeah.
Didn't Latu have some like neck issues and stuff too, or
he medically retired?
Really? I didn't know that.
And neck stuff, or I don't know. He has a really similar story and path to Jalen Phillips from a few years ago when he came out.
I mean, Seattle probably goes defense too. Maybe not with their new regime, but
what Well,
Good.
the Seahawks have now the Washington offensive coordinator as their offensive coordinator. So a lot of people are speculating they take the Washington offensive lineman.
Could happen. For sure could happen.
Cattell looks so goofy up there with those guys.
He does. So what was your guys' over-under on wide receivers taken? Because I was in between like 5 and 6, and we're only at 3 right now. We're only about halfway through. But
Before the draft, I would have said over 6, but I don't think anymore.
My guess was 5 going into it. But.
Yeah, I was sitting on 6. I think the top 3, obviously, and then I was figuring on A.D. Mitchell, Xavier Worthy, and Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, it's sort of kind of what I was thinking too. Seattle's on the clock, right? Okay.
And it's been a crazy draft. I can't complain about anything like that, but the lack of trades is a little disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a little bit.
They fooled me.
Well, like I said, I think with the surprise QB picks, it's really pushing a lot of the talent down that these teams that don't need quarterbacks are getting to take advantage of without having to trade.
True. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah.
I think the Bears, the Falcons probably were theoretically a trade down spot, but if they're going to take quarterback, you're not going to trade down.
Right.
The Bears were probably a trade spot, but when you have one of the top 3 receivers,
I still can't. Still can't with the Falcons taking a quarterback.
It's so funny though. It's very Atlanta Falcons though too.
It is. Maybe they'll run some 2 QB sets.
That's what I said. They're out here playing super flex.
But they don't even have mobile quarterbacks.
True.
I think they legit forgot they paid Kirk Cousins. They just had a lapse. They were like, "Oh my god, we need a quarterback."
Man, how different is this Chicago offense look with Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Caleb Williams, Roma Dunze, and now DeAndre Swift as well? Like, that's a scary offense.
Man, if that offense does not perform, somebody's getting fired.
Uh-huh.
I don't know who it's going to be, but somebody's getting fired.
I think everybody is who's going to get fired. Who's going to get fired?
How do you think Justin Fields feels about that?
It's not good.
As soon as he leaves, they just load that offense with playmakers.
Yeah. It's kind of how it was in Philadelphia with Carson Wentz. Like,
Yeah.
we had to suffer the years of Dorial Green Beckham and Nelson Aguilar, and then all of a sudden we have Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown just hanging around.
Yeah.
Is the pick in for Seattle yet?
Says the pick's in.
All right, honey, hold on.
Somebody trade. They don't.
Who do you think Seattle goes?
I'm guessing Futane.
Yeah,
Kind of worried
I
they
think
go.
offensive line.
If they go defense, I'm kind of worried they go Murphy, which is one of the guys I wanted the Rams to get.
I forgot about him.
Oh, the defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Byron Murphy, yeah.
Let's see. What are the? Yeah, I think they need. I feel like they need outside pass rush more so than interior. I don't know. I could see this being Turner.
Could see that.
Like their starting edge rushers right now are Boye Mafe and Uchenna Nwosa. It's just like not good enough.
So after Seattle, it's Jacksonville, Cincinnati, and the Rams.
The Rams are going to make a first round pick.
Don't chase it.
How long's it been?
Good 2-3 years, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we had one maybe, was it 2 or 3 years ago when we traded out in the first round?
Mm-hmm.
I thought D tackle would be for the Rams too, because of
Well,
Aaron.
I went from thinking we had an outstanding offseason where we just needed a really good edge on our defense. And then Donald retired. And it went to we need everything on the defensive line because he was all we had.
I like the signings they made in the secondary.
Oh, yeah. I loved Darius Williams when we had him. I was really glad to get him back.
Cam Curl's a good player too. Just
Yeah.
like a solid. It's one of those like, a safety is like good, like decent when you just never hear about them ever, but they like play every game and get a lot of tackles and everything.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you.
And then Trey White, I forgot about that.
If they take a wide receiver here, I swear.
No, they can't do that. I think.
They can.
I think they got to go defense.
Yeah, I think so too. They really did hit with Devin Witherspoon, though. I think that dude's a baller.
Oh yeah, he's a beast.
Just let the corners keep falling. Which I'm surprised. Again, we've only seen one defensive player.
Yeah,
And it's Latu, which I don't think anybody.
He's not the best defender in the class as far as I'm concerned.
This is a long pick also. I mean, come on. Oh, wait. Is this a commercial or what's happening? Oh, no, it's not a commercial.
It's 10 o'clock and we're halfway through this draft. The Jags after this pick is one that I have had a lot of trouble mocking the whole process.
They need a wide receiver.
They need a wide receiver.
Or cornerback now. Oh,
I guess that was Murphy.
yeah. He's a stud.
It makes sense.
I like that pick a lot for them.
Trade alert.
Trade alert.
Vikings moving up to 17.
Oh,
Edge rusher, probably.
Yeah, that would make sense. Or corner.
Yeah, true. I think that Daniil Hunter loss is huge for them, though.
Definitely. But they signed the dude from the Texans. They gave even more.
Greenard, I think his name is.
Yeah, Jonathan Greenard. Yeah, they gave him even more money than Daniil Hunter got.
That's crazy. I actually
Which-
didn't know that. I knew
Not
they
a
signed him.
bad decision, but
Mhm.
they at least seemingly think highly of him. I don't know what else they have. What they have across? Oh, and they signed Andrew Van Ginkel.
Javon Baker. Pick 17. Okay.
Another quarterback.
Yeah. Don't you dare. Spencer Rattler.
It's a Rattler.
I saw
Vikings
when
trade up twice to draft 2 quarterbacks.
when the Vikings first traded for that second first, I saw people being like, they're going to take like JJ at 11 and then Bo Nix at 20 or whoever at 23 just to like be like, one of them has to be good, right?
That's the Washington way to be. They would have them duke it out at Top Golf.
Yeah.
That is still the crazy
Oh,
thing.
here's the details. Dang. Oh, 25, third, and fourth.
Oh, wow. That's
And I don't think the Vikings have a second next year already.
They
So
gave
now-
up. They had to have given up their 23rd, though, right? Number
Yeah, they
20.
gave up
they
their
did. They
23rd, a
Yeah,
5th, and then their 3rd and 4th next year.
AJ left out the most important. for that.
Yeah. But I think next year the Vikings only have a first and then nothing until the 5th round. It's not ideal.
No, not ideal when you
Not
have
ideal.
a rookie quarterback.
No.
Well, the camera just really screwed me up on that one. It just flipped around all over the place.
Dallas Turner.
There it is. Yep.
Come on,
It's a good pick,
Cincinnati,
right?
leave us first.
It is Turner. All right.
Now, if Cincinnati takes a wide receiver here, there's no doubt in my mind Higgins gets moved.
Yeah.
Because I've seen them mocked Roma Dunze a few times.
I saw Chris Sims mocked that, which was crazy to me that he would fall. Like anybody would think he'd fall that far. I think this is going to be Amarius Mims.
Mm,
for the-
that's a good
for the
one. Yeah,
Bengals. Like pretty much
Tackle,
every
right?
mock I've done, I've had that.
Tackle.
Yeah, he just seems like they have Orlando Brown on the left, who's like the biggest human being of all time, and then Amarius Mims is probably the second biggest human being.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like that suit. It's a good color. Reminds me of the Riddler. I kind of like
You
it,
think-
like a light Riddler.
You think you could rock that?
No,
Huh.
no, I'm not cool enough by any stretch of the imagination to pull that off.
Cincinnati makes me nervous here because Hendrickson also wants out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did. That was
Right.
yesterday, right?
You think Rams could go Newton maybe?
I almost
I think it's
said
Verse.
Sir Isaac Newton.
Verse?
Yeah. I think if Verse gets taken here, I think we trade out of the pick and go another year without a first.
You could probably trade further back, just into
Yeah.
stay in the first, and then take like Newton or something.
Yeah.
Newton, I mean, like, this is not a player comp, but he fits the Aaron Donald, like undersized, quick, interior pass rusher mold, which is like, again, he's not Aaron Donald, but like,
Who did
they-
I give the
They
Rams?
do need that type of player, but I don't know.
We did that live show a few weeks ago, the draft show. I wonder who did I give the Rams for that? I forget. Let me go check.
I wouldn't be mad with Mims either.
Oh, I gave them Byron Murphy. Whoops. I do think that's a decent pick by Minnesota, though.
I think that's a great pick.
The run on defense had to happen at some point, right?
I was just gonna say, is that a run? We got a run now.
Still no corners though.
Don't jinx it.
I have no idea what the Steelers are gonna do.
No, and they pick what in a couple picks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they need a receiver too.
Yeah. We don't like first round receivers generally.
Mm-hmm.
We love taking receivers in the second round. I think if Mims is there, that would be the pick for them. I hope. We'll see.
I think Mims probably goes now, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Got to keep Joe upright.
Yeah, and healthy. I forget. Would it surprise you if Joe Burrow, if I were to tell you he's almost 28 or he is 28? He'll be 28 in December.
Yeah.
Which is very crazy to me because I feel like he's only been in the league for like 2 years.
Well, that's because he spent half of his career injured.
True.
He was very old as a
Yeah,
rookie.
Coming out, right.
An old prospect and 2 season-ending injuries to start his career in the first 3 years. 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm. It's just I did not expect him to be almost 28 years old, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I remember when he won the Heisman, it was the same year Lamar won MVP, NFL MVP, and the NFL MVP was younger than the Heisman winner, which I have to imagine that's the only time that's ever been the case.
Pick is in.
I'm just watching Jellyfish right now on YouTube TVs.
Are you enjoying the Zen?
Yeah, a little bit.
The other thing about those commercials is they're very loud too.
Yeah. Luckily, my my phone's on mute because I do remember them being, especially the ones with the birds that are chirping. It's really, really loud.
Yeah.
All right. While we are waiting for this pick to get announced, we are going to run a quick ad here. Are you looking for the latest and greatest in fantasy football insights? Well, look no further than toiletstotitles.com. Our website is your go-to destination for all things fantasy football, offering an endless stream of articles, rankings, and analysis to help you dominate your league. From weekly waiver wire targets to in-depth player profiles, we've got you covered with the insight you need to make informed decisions and stay ahead of the competition. So why wait? Head over to toiletstotitles.com today and take your fantasy game to the next level. All right. Man, they need to cut down on these commercial breaks.
Mhm.
Like, if the pick is in, they need to come up and announce the pick, man.
Or is this draft going to end after midnight?
Oh yeah, probably or close to it.
Man.
Well, take your commercial breaks while teams are on the clock.
Mm-hmm. The screen that they're showing right now has the Rams on the clock, and I know you're probably itching at this point, Mark.
I just want to see the Rams on the clock and the pick is in to know we didn't trade it away.
True. Yeah. Just to see it physically be on your screen and feel safe about it.
Yeah.
Who was the last player they took in the first round?
God. I don't know. Goff is the last thing that sticks in my head, but I know that's not right.
Yep,
Nope,
it is.
that is right.
2016. Jared Goff was the last time that they drafted in the first round.
That's crazy.
2016. Wow, it's been 8 years since they had a first round pick.
Got him a Super Bowl though.
So that's kind of what this is what I was saying earlier. The Rams last year, they didn't have their first round pick. They had 11 day 3 picks alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
No surprise there.
Mary's
The run on defense is over too.
Oh shit! It wasn't.
yeah, Mims.
Dang.
All right, give me verse.
What if Kirk Cousins is retiring? I can't even wrap my brain about what the Falcons did still.
What a waste of a pick.
Top 10 pick.
Yeah. And they're eighth overall for like 3 years in a row.
Yeah, that one will not make sense at any point, I don't think.
So many options on the board for them to come in and contribute immediately.
Yeah. I mean, so you obviously think you can be competitive and make a run, or you don't give a free agent quarterback a $100 million guaranteed contract.
Nope.
So if you think that you're going to be competitive and make a run, you need to use that top 10 pick to get a player that's going to help you do that. Backup quarterback's not the answer.
No. We're under 3.5 minutes and the pick's not in. Getting a little nervous here.
I don't know. I don't think the Eagles are going to move up at this point. Because Miami could take a corner. I don't think the Rams are going to take a corner, right? Probably not.
Probably not.
So Dallas could move up. Don't you say it.
Dallas ain't going nowhere.
Somebody said, I just saw on Twitter, CJ Stroud and Will Anderson vibes for the Vikings. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
Will Anderson is a bad man. So's Turner, though.
Man. Les has got to be on the phone right now.
Mm-hmm. Sean McVay was texting.
McVay is freaking jacked, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, just take first. Easy.
If they were, funny question, if they were to have a coaches only Royal Rumble, who would win? I think my pick would be D'Amico Ryans.
You don't think Campbell?
Yeah, maybe. He'd be 2. Two or three. The pick's in for the Rams.
Pick is in. It's got to be Verse, right? Who else?
Johnny Newton.
Could be Newton. Better be Verse.
Could be Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah.
Eh? Too much help on
Could
the
be
defense.
Spencer Rattler.
Nah.
I do think the Rams, maybe not with this pick, but I do think the Rams could use a receiver at some point. And then maybe on day
Oh,
two.
I agree.
Yeah, same. I don't think it's this.
But they
pick.
did re-sign Demarcus Robinson. I mean, they eventually have to replace Cup, but I don't think in the first round.
No.
Unless you're moving up and grabbing one of the top three. Just say Jared Verse. That's all. That's all.
Well, you're ahead of everybody, so we'll tell by your reaction. What happened.
Yeah, I'm not going to hide that one.
Yeah. I mean, the Eagles haven't even picked yet, and I was the most upset about Brock Bowers going to the Raiders.
Yeah, I don't love quite a few of the landing spots for some of these fantasy assets.
I mean, the receivers are probably the safest. Like the three main ones are the safest ones, I guess. And then after that, it's kind of been.
I forget. Did you say Bowers would be good anywhere he goes? Any change on that with the Raiders?
No, he'll be good anywhere. I would have liked to see some of these guys get better landing spots because I think they could have been great. Like a Dunze, if he got onto an offense that he was going to be the primary option, I think he would have smashed. Now I think you're going to look at like a JSN sort of situation where there's just not enough targets. But yeah, I mean, I think those guys will still produce. It's just not at the correct level.
The thing with JSN, there you go.
Jared first, baby. Let's go.
Got him.
There you go. That was everybody's consensus. I mean, a lot of people's consensus at top edge rusher.
I saw a lot of Dallas Turner.
Yeah, I saw
A lot of people.
a lot of Verse or Turner. So, I mean, you got one of them, right?
I've always
Verse was
been
my
a
guy.
lot.
I always thought he was the best.
Crazy to me that Jared Verse 2 years ago was playing for University of Albany. I went to Marist College, which is a small FCS football school. I never went to a single game. We played him. Which is just crazy to think about.
All right, so Pittsburgh is up now, right? Yeah, so Pittsburgh and Miami. What is it here? Tell us, AJ, what's happening?
My initial guess was Graham Barton, but that I was not expecting Fatanu to be on the board, and I was definitely not expecting every single corner to be on the board. So now I think corner
Is in play.
I no longer know.
Just gonna let it happen.
Yeah, we'll see. I want offensive line, but if we get Mitchell, Quinyon Mitchell, I would be thrilled with that. I don't want a receiver.
I thought you were gonna say Adonai Mitchell for a second.
No, I would not like that. Although that would be such a Steelers
Pick.
receiver take. We love the head cases.
The score just reported Kirk Cousins was left shocked and disappointed after the Falcons draft.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Did they not tell him that that's what they were gonna do? Oh my God! It's like the Aaron Rodgers thing. Oh my God! Disaster.
The Falcons called Cousins when they were on the clock to inform him of their impending selection.
That's so bad.
Cousins said he knew that they could draft a quarterback, but they didn't expect the first round.
That is just not good team management.
I'm enjoying the Zen again. There are so many YouTube commercials. This is like the most I've ever seen.
Are you getting turtles now?
I have turtles and now jellyfish.
Steelers pick is in.
Oh boy! All right, I'm not letting you sway. I'll mute you guys.
Good. I'll keep it quiet. I mean, unless they draft a quarterback, and then I won't be able to hold it in. All right.
Oh no, we're gonna get the same thing with Russell Wilson.
If that happens, you will only have 3 people for the rest of the stream.
Who do you want him to take?
I don't know anyone. This is just not how I expected the board to go. I'd say I would be okay with either Quinyon Mitchell or Terrion Arnold, or Fatanu, or Jackson Powers Johnson. I don't want receiver. I guess Graham Barton would be like okay too. I don't want receiver.
I don't think the Steelers will do that in the first round. That, like you said, that's not really their MO.
I kind of think I have a feeling corner maybe, but I don't know. I know Tomlin loves Quinyon Mitchell. They have like a relationship, and
that would be a Tomlin move to take the guy that he has a relationship with.
Yeah.
I think you'll be happy either way because, like, I think that what you mentioned is what's going to happen. One of the corners or Fatanu probably.
I think Fatanu makes a lot of sense.
Problem is we don't have a center literally on our roster, so that's what.
Yeah.
What kind of? Because Graham Barton could maybe play center, and then Jackson Powers Johnson, but we can get center later in the draft. I would love Zach Frazier on day 2. Keep him local.
I mean, if you take Fatanu, though, it gives you options for Tyler Smith, right? Like how you want to play him.
That's Cowboys.
Or yeah. Wow. Yeah.
That's all right.
He got so excited with the first pick. He's gone now.
I'm out. Who am I thinking?
That's the thing. I don't know where Fatanu is going to play in the NFL. And I don't know what our plan is with the offensive line, to be honest. Oh, the super fans at the draft always crack me up. The people that are like,
that is an impressive suit.
Yes.
All right, the pick has been in for like 10 minutes now. Let's go. Is it weird? Who are the 2 draft main guys that are always on ESPN? Are they on? What are their names? Todd McShay and
Kuiper?
Yeah,
McShay got fired, I think.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
But Kuiper is on. Ooh, Cam Hayward out to.
Ooh, defensive lineman, maybe?
I would be pretty unhappy.
No, I don't think they would. Didn't they restructure Alex Highsmith?
I don't know. But they're pretty set defensive line wise. And just watching the ticker go down and seeing Michael Penix next to the Falcons go past me,
It's funny.
It's gonna stay funny.
It is.
What a
100%.
stupid pick.
yeah, it's going to be just as funny next year when he's still not the starter, and the year
Yeah.
after that when he's still not the starter. All right, Cam, what you got for me?
I wonder if the Steelers informed Russell Wilson of the quarterback they're about to take. Just kidding. There's no way.
I don't have sound. I'm trying to. Is he just like going on a speech right now?
I think he's having a speech right now. Yeah.
Having
I
a
don't have
moment.
sound.
Trying to read. I was trying to read his lips to see like with the first or the 20th pick, and okay. Okay, I like that. I'm happy with that.
What did they do?
Fatana.
Okay. Okay.
That's a good pick, I think. I did not expect him to fall.
All right, gentlemen, this is where I got to switch over. I believe I should be back on if you guys are still running. But I'm going to hop off right here, and I'll reach out to you guys after.
Cool.
Sounds good, man.
Sounds good, buddy.
See ya.
Thanks.
Yep.
Later.
Do you think he's gonna play tackle for you guys or guard?
I don't know. Guard isn't like the. I feel we need tackle and center.
I definitely don't think he's a center.
Yeah. So I don't like. Is he? So we have. Good Lord, the first round pick last year, who for some reason his name is escaping me. Who played right tackle.
Yeah,
I would think he
Patani's a
probably.
left tackle by trade.
Yeah. Do you think that? I don't know if they would kick Braxton to left tackle, and then I don't know. Because I feel like a lot of the talk with Fatana was that he would move to guard in the NFL.
Yeah.
But now I don't know if that makes a ton of sense for us. But I don't know.
Well, I would guess that they liked him at tackle if they have solid guards already.
Right. Yeah.
Because you signed James Daniels, right, from the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Our guards are James Daniels, who we got from the Bears last year, and Isaac I don't know how to say his name, but Suemolo from the Eagles. They're both solid. But our current starting center is a guy who's never played center in the NFL. So I don't know. We'll see. On the Dolphins,
Well, again, you can get a starting level center in this draft, like round 4 or 5.
Yeah, hopefully.
There's quite a few starter level centers in this draft, and not that many teams need one. So
yeah. Do you think are they guys who played center in college, or like guards who would move to center?
Most of them are centers by natural position. And then a couple of them are centers that could also play guard.
Right. Okay. Who are like the day 2, day 3 centers?
So I like Zach Frazier in second round, probably is where he's going to go.
Yeah.
That would be my favorite. But you can go all the way down to Tyler Bortolini. He's probably a 4th or 5th round pick, and I think that he's going to be a starter in the NFL.
See Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
the Georgia guy is the thing too, right?
Yeah, I think that you've got basically at every level of this draft a starting center that you can take if you want. Which is why it makes sense to wait, because I don't think there's a massive gap between the top 2 centers and the bottom 2 starting level centers.
Okay.
What about the kid from Duke?
Yeah, Barton. That's kind of who I thought the Steelers would take here because he played tackle in college, and then now I don't. Why is it that he's being projected as a center?
I think it's because of his measurables.
Like it's just interesting. You see the tackle to guard thing a lot.
I mean, Graham Barton. I'm pretty sure played like every single spot on the offensive line in college.
Oh, really? Okay.
He's got massive position flex.
Yeah, that's why he screams Packers to me.
But he projects size and athletic wise as an elite level center.
Okay.
His tape at center was amazing.
His what?
His tape at center was awesome.
Yeah, as a true freshman, it looks like he played center.
Yeah. So I think that my favorite center in class is probably JPJ. But I've heard recently that there might be some medicals that aren't awesome. So that's part of the issue. You know, we do these mock drafts and we talk about all these guys. We don't have all the information.
Right.
He went to the combine. He had medical work done, and apparently there was something that somebody didn't like. Because I've heard quite a few plugged in people on Twitter talking about how he's moved down or been completely taken off of some people's boards because of a medical concern.
Right. Yeah, I did before I heard about that. I had mocked him to the Cowboys because I figured that made sense with them letting their center go. But I guess they're one of the teams that particularly is not interested.
Yeah, and I was a little disappointed about that. That was one of the guys that I kind of had circled that I thought would move the needle for the team.
Yeah.
Because he's big and he's powerful and he's going to be somebody that you can run behind. I think they had an issue running between the tackles last year, and I don't think it was a running back issue. I think it was a Tyler Biadasz isn't quite strong enough issue. And one thing that JPJ is really good at is being powerful at the point of contact. And so, but I mean, if he's got some sort of medical problem that is concerning, obviously you don't want to depend on that player. The Cowboys have drafted that player before and gotten burned. They took Jalen Smith in the second round a while back after that leg injury. He had a good season or two and then fell off a cliff. And then they did the same thing with Leighton Vander Esch. You know, they took him in the first round, and he had neck problems coming into the league. He had neck problems throughout his career, missed a ton of time. Was really good when he was on the field, but couldn't stay healthy because of that neck. And then ultimately had to retire to make sure that he had a life to live after he was done with football. So that's always the biggest thing, is that we don't have as much information as these teams have. It's not even close. So
I think this could be a JPJ spot.
Yeah, I think it definitely could be.
Man, and the Eagles are really just gonna. Ooh, whoa!
Chop.
I was not expecting that. That's interesting. I was sure that they would go offensive line of some kind.
I really like Chop Robinson.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be a great player.
I mean, he's going to rush the passer. We know that.
Oh yeah. I think he's going to be awesome.
I mentioned this earlier, but that Michigan Penn State game, he's the reason Michigan stopped throwing the ball, because he was
just all over.
The first two series of the game, he was all over JJ, and then Harbaugh was just like, or not Harbaugh, I guess it was the interim said, enough of this. Let's just run the ball 50 times.
Yeah. And Philadelphia is going to get their choice of defensive backs.
And that feels like the right pick just always falls into their lap.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's in Maryland too. That's the town over from where I grew up, Gaithersburg. Which corner do you like the best in this draft? Are you Quinion Mitchell or?
I like Mitchell. Actually, it's funny. I just saw ESPN had their big board pop up. They have Cooper DeJean as their number one prospect left right now. I like both other corners better.
Yeah. Well, I did but when we expected more corners to go off the board, I did like DeJean to the Eagles here because you don't know, he might play safety, he might play corner, and the Eagles need all of it in the secondary. But now with Arnold and Mitchell there, I feel like you just have to take one of them.
Who do you like more?
I don't know. I really like Arnold. But that's mostly just because the big thing that I study are receivers, and there are a lot of big receivers that went up against Terrion Arnold this year, so I got to watch a lot of him, and he looked really good against the Texas receivers, against the LSU receivers. I was just really impressed with him.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think you go wrong with either one of them. But
yeah. And then Mitchell played in just such that defense was so weird that he was playing on. He was playing 15 yards off the line of scrimmage half the time. It's just, while I think he's really good, that's just another thing that maybe doesn't translate or whatever to the NFL. Just another thing to worry about. But like you said, I don't think you can go wrong. Daniel Jeremiah has Arnold had him as his number 9 overall player.
I think we see Philly and Jacksonville back to back with the corners.
I think it's very likely.
Possible. Jacksonville maybe could take a receiver.
Yeah.
Man, did these things? I don't remember the draft going this late last year, or being still 10 picks left at 10:45. Good Lord.
Yeah, this has been a long one. A long draft that was relatively uneventful as well. There's not a lot of trades happening.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's taken them so long, some of these picks.
I mean, they just love adding more and more commercials every year to everything.
Yeah.
Although, okay, that at least makes me feel better that it shows the Jaguars on the clock thing counting down while the Eagles pick is in. Just mentally, that feels a little bit better. News pick. Like what? What is he saying up there for like a full minute?
Talking about their international games.
Ugh.
I just saw that comment. What's up, brother? I think the Jags got to be happy with trading down, right?
Oh,
Regardless
yeah.
if they
sure.
wanted a receiver or cornerback.
Absolutely.
They're all still there.
Oh, he's not even reading the pick.
No.
You got to kick it out to Australia. Yeah. I'm sure Mike is happy about that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was getting mocked as high as like in the top 10. The Eagles, man, they always find a way to come out with good players.
Yeah, man. Being able to stay put at pick 22 and getting the top cornerback in the class, crazy.
Yep.
This has been a weird draft. There's been a lot of unusual things. Like I think a lot of teams reached on quarterbacks this year, and teams that already have quarterbacks really got to take advantage.
For sure. And this is weird too. I feel like every year I do mock drafts, and I'm like, dang, like I always come out of it being like, I should have had these corners going earlier. Like I had the corners going so late, and every year they go higher than I think. And this year it was the opposite.
Yeah.
This thing says Quinyon Mitchell had 4 interceptions and 2 pick sixes in one game. That's unbelievable.
Jackson Carlson.
So what do you want to hear next?
All right, babe, help me with these kids.
What? Babe?
Help me with
All right.
these kids here.
I think that Jacksonville is going to go
Let's go.
Terry Arnold, and then personally, I would love to see Dallas draft JPJ, but I just don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with a Graham Barton too. Really think they need to fill the offensive line with somebody.
for Williston, for Toledo, for all the small town schools and everything. So just for everybody right now.
The Eagles haven't drafted a defensive back in the first round since 2002. Why are you the guy to change all of that?
Just my mindset, my intent, my attitude, just everything they're looking for.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you. It's what a lot of people feel very good for. And again, I will underline that point. And that we made it very well. The Eagles were a team that desperately needed this. We thought they would have to do it much more than that. The system they were and get in front of it and how they just like it was a very good pick for Philadelphia. They picked the Philadelphia, that kind of need area. And showed how they picked number 22, which is about where you want from a rating standpoint. But then things happen. That trickle down effect. Smaller's offensive guy. And the Indianapolis got likely. You thought they could go corner.
Ooh. Jags getting their receiver, Brian Thomas Jr. I got a spoiler on the Jags pick. Looked in our Gilded chat. Coach posted it.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
he must be way ahead.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said, if you're on Twitter, you're getting the picks like good 2 minutes before they come in on TV.
They took Brian Thomas.
Brian Thomas.
I,
Yep.
I think that's a fine pick for them. Trevor needs somebody to throw the ball to. I think they were really expecting to get Calvin Ridley back.
Yeah, that hurt.
And when that didn't pan out, I think they were kind of taken by surprise a little bit. Now I would really love to see Dallas take Terry and Arnold. Just as my selfish pick. I know they got Diggs and they got Bland, but I think that they could certainly use another. I don't think you can have enough good corners.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, sometimes you just got to take best available.
Yeah,
on like that.
And see, this is the problem with pigeonholing yourself into a need by not doing any work ahead of the draft. Like they've got these offensive line holes that they did nothing to compensate for, even a little bit, so that when they got into the draft, they could go freely to pick the best players.
Yeah,
and I think they've kind of backed themselves into a corner, and it's going to be tough not to draft an offensive lineman, even though I think Arnold is hands down the best player on the board right now.
Sorry, all right. I missed Brian Thomas. I like that pick a lot for them.
That's a great pick for them, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with kind of what you were saying before. He definitely has bust potential higher than some of the other guys, but I think he could be really, really good.
I like Thomas a lot. I don't think he's a one-trick pony like those guys do. I don't know.
I'm with you. I think he's
a great route runner. His catch radius is large. He wins at the jump ball all the time. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. My thing with receivers is like they talk about a player like Brian Thomas being like raw as a route runner, which I think is kind of true, but you see him like he understands like conceptually how to get open and like how to beat corners, and like he has nuance in his route running. He might not be the most like refined with his footwork, but that's something that you can work on. Whereas like the understanding of like angles and leverage and that kind of thing is a lot harder to learn.
Yeah.
And that's something I think he has. But that's a fun offense now in Jacksonville. Gabe Davis feels a little bit redundant now. But still a really good offense.
Still, it's Gabe Davis. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Gabe Davis. Not one bit.
I mean, everybody saw that playoff game against Kansas City and just expected him to take off. And
yeah. All right. What are you thinking for your Cowboys?
I think that trade back was probably option one. They couldn't find a partner. I think that they're probably looking at, I don't know, Graham Barton. I think he'd be top of their list. He's got a lot of position flex, but they would use him at center.
Yeah, no, that makes. I mean, you said you lost your tackle and your center.
Yeah,
and that's the two positions he played. So,
I'd love to see them take a swing on like Terry Arnold since he's fallen all this way. Nobody thought that he'd be there.
Yeah.
I think that corner is a sneaky need for them. They've got Bland and they've got Diggs, but they lost Stephon Gilmore. The Jordan Lewis is injury prone and, not going to be around forever. And then outside of that, they don't have a ton. So I think that corner is a bigger need than maybe people think. And I think he's the best player on the board right now by a fair margin.
Yeah, I think that's fair. What does ESPN's thing have as the best player available? Other than him,
I mean, a while ago they had
Martin.
They had Cooper as the best player available, but he's still up there.
Right.
So I
What?
gotta believe it's the same thing. They showed the Jaguars locker room, and Tony Khan, the son, is wearing a neck brace, which is a part of his wrestling promotion storyline. He was wearing a neck brace in the draft room. That's great.
That's really funny.
That's committing.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to be on camera if they show me even for 5 seconds.
Man, they are taking their sweet time here.
Yeah.
They're trading.
They are at least trying to trade down pretty hard.
That would be my guess, is that they
Lions are
probably
coming up.
called every team.
Yeah, apparently the Lions traded for 24.
Yeah?
No compensation yet, though.
Oh, the Lions got this pick?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I like that.
Oh, you know what? I'm behind. Who could the Lions? Oh, Lions definitely for Arnold, right?
Arnold,
I
right?
would
Yeah.
say definitely. For
Yeah,
Arnold.
wow. That's a really good get for them if that's what they're doing. Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect scenario for them.
I think that was the best case scenario for Dallas. They
Yeah.
slide back, 1, 2, 3, 4 picks, 5 picks.
Yeah, to 29.
I don't know what the compensation is yet, but I imagine they at least got a 4th.
Yeah.
Which they really need. And I think that there's still going to be a solid offensive lineman available for them.
Yeah. Do they just have their own second and third?
Yes,
And I figure one of those picks is a running back.
probably.
You think Brooks?
I think if Brooks is there when they pick in the second, it'll be hard for them to say no. I think Brooks is one of the few running backs in this class that can be a 3-down grinder for a team. Obviously, the ACL muddies things up a little bit because you never know if somebody's going to bounce back from that injury. But I think if it wasn't for that knee injury, he would have been a late first, early second. So I think there'd be good value there.
They got a third rather than a fourth.
They got a third.
Yeah, they got number 73.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's like an early third too.
That's
And you gave back a 7.
A 7th.
Yeah.
Easy. I love that. Slide back just a few spots. They probably wanted an offensive lineman. They're still gonna get one.
Yeah.
And they pick up a third to negate the fact that they don't have their fourth.
Yep.
Yeah, I love this move for them. I think this was one of the few off-season moves that they've made that I can agree with.
Yeah, I think it's great for both sides. I love it for Detroit as well.
Yeah.
Love it, yeah. I mean, when you think about it as just moving up 5 picks, it's a lot. But when you think about it from just getting Terry and Arnold, that's a
right.
Oh, yeah.
Also, we're talking about it like the pick has already been announced.
I don't see who else you're trading up for right now.
I mean, it could be a different corner. Hey, maybe they agree with ESPN and Cooper DeJean's the number 1 corner.
No way.
The Detroit Lions excel in engaging the local football community and growing football participation at the youth and high school levels. Joining me on stage are girls flag football players representing the first 4 schools.
Dude, that kid's a high schooler.
Are we sure that's not like one of the offensive linemen that just got drafted?
I know, right? That's who the Lions traded for.
Congratulations on your accomplishments in your academic and football career. Now to make a selection, please welcome Ellie Bentley.
The Dallas Cowboys have traded the 24th pick to the Detroit Lions. With the 24th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Terry Arnold.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's Wicked. You're still muted.
I think that is an awesome move for both sides there.
Yep. Totally agree.
I really can't believe that Mitchell and Arnold fell as far as they did.
That's a phenomenal suit for Terry Arnold. But yeah, no, I'm stunned as well.
I mean, it goes back to all the damn quarterbacks going.
Yeah. Yeah.
6 in the top 12. That's, I think, the first time that's ever happened. Crazy stuff. So I think Green Bay, Graham Barton makes just way too much sense.
Graham Barton makes a lot of sense for them.
They love their linemen with the positional flexibility. So, what are you thinking now for the Cowboys now they've moved back?
Well,
Jordan Morgan.
Jordan Morgan would be somebody that I'd like. I feel like they're high on Tyler Guyton. I don't love Tyler Guyton, but from what I've heard, the Cowboys do, and he's probably going to be there.
Yeah.
If Graham Barton were to make it to Dallas's next pick, which I don't think is very likely, but if he did, I think they'd be running up to the podium for Barton.
It's funny.
Depending on the medicals for JPJ, he'd be in play here too. And then Jordan Morgan would probably, if Graham Barton's not available, then Jordan Morgan would probably be my top choice. But again, I think Guyton is somebody that they like and that they're targeting. I don't love it. So
it's interesting because I feel like when they took Tyler Smith, that was a surprise and considered by I feel like most people as a reach, and he was like that raw, athletic offensive lineman, and it ended up being a home run. And Guyton this year, not that they're similar players, but is also the freak athlete, raw, and just it makes sense that the Cowboys would also be interested in him.
Yeah, the thing with like Tyler Smith was that his big knock was that he held a lot. He'd get his hands outside the frame and he'd get caught for a lot of holdings. One thing that I like with offensive linemen is, do they have NFL ready power? Because you see a ton of guys that, maybe they've got good technique, but they're undersized or they're underweight or they're not quite as strong as they need to be. And it takes them so long to get that strength threshold up.
Yeah.
I've noticed and I've seen that it's faster to teach a very, very strong offensive lineman some better technique than it is to teach a offensive lineman with good technique to be stronger.
That makes sense. No, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I could see Tyler Guyton just being a complete whiff.
Yeah. But so you don't think what do you with his game, what do you
I think that he is sloppy. He does not look like he's in control during the snap. He looks frenzied. He doesn't look comfortable. I see him bend forward at the waist a lot, which is something that you typically see guys with really short arms do, because they're trying to get in there to make contact. He bends at the waist a lot, which leaves him susceptible to swim moves to the inside. I see him on the ground way too much. And I don't think that he is very good with his hand fighting. You'll frequently see him miss with his first punch and then either not reload at all for a second punch or just be so slow with it that it never gets there. He's got a lot of things that need refinement. And I don't think that that's the type of project that the Cowboys should be taking on right now. I think that there's a lot of offensive linemen that can come in and be serviceable starters right now that are going to be available at this next pick. And I don't think that Tyler Guyton's got enough upside to compensate for his potential downside.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That was well put.
Again, and the other thing is if you're gonna bring in a rookie left tackle, I'd like for him to be a really good rookie left tackle.
Yeah,
it's just such an important position. So if they're not going to be able to get that, as much as I love Tyler Smith at guard because he's a top tier guard there, move him out to left tackle where we know he can be really good and lock down the most important spot of the offensive line. it's much easier to get somebody in to play left guard than it is to get somebody to play left tackle at a high level.
Yeah.
So I'd move Tyler Smith to left tackle. I'd get somebody else in there to play left guard and then figure out my center position. And I don't know what the free agent market looks like, but there's usually always a few of the, older vet types that'll come in on a 1-year deal that are, still serviceable starters on the offensive line. So that's something to keep in mind too. If they don't get a center in this draft, I'm sure that there's somebody out there that can be a serviceable center for a year.
Yeah.
They can just go sign like a vet minimum deal with some incentives.
Yeah, there's always those guys that like wait till the end after the draft to see like where the actual starting jobs are guaranteed.
Right. Well, and then after training camp, because they don't want to go do all those workouts either. They're 12-year vets and they don't want to do training camp again, so they'll wait till right before the season kicks off and get on with the team.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, there's a lot. I don't know how good necessarily these people are, but plenty of centers who I know have started in recent years that are available.
Here goes your Jordan Morgan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Maybe that means Barton gets to you, though.
Barton would be my top choice, but I
don't know that any of these next three teams necessarily.
Well, I know for man, if Buffalo does not draft a receiver, I don't know what they're doing.
I actually kind of think they won't go. I think they're going to go defense.
You think so?
I'm a lot higher on their current set of weapons than most people are, for one. And I think they have enough like guys who are good, like just good players that they don't need like a true number one. And they could take a guy on day 2. I think Curtis Samuel is one of the most underrated players.
I love Curtis Samuel. I think that Buffalo could use the services of a guy like A.D. Mitchell, who's going to be a bigger guy on the outside, because I think they got a lot of those kind of quicker, twitchier receivers. And then they have Dalton Kincaid, which I think is going to have to be a big part of their game plan next year.
I love Dalton Kincaid.
So I think that they could really use a Donnie Mitchell type player in their offense.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, they can probably only get that at this pick.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that there's really a player like that later. Like, the next he's not really a great 1-for-1 comp, but like I guess would play a similar role would be like a Javon Baker later. Whereas you could wait, like you could take the receiver now and get probably a similar defensive player later. Yeah. They just have so many holes right now though, which
they basically tore their whole roster apart this offseason.
Yeah. With I think like pretty much practically every position on defense they could use.
Well, I mean, the good thing about having holes all over your team is that you get to pick the best player there. So
That's the only good thing about it.
You got nothing but needs, then you don't have to worry about reaching for need.
Yeah. Or you can be like the Broncos, and when you have nothing but needs, still take your quarterback at 12.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that there's I think there's a decent shot that Graham Barton might make it to the Cowboys' next pick, and that would be a slam dunk. If they were able to trade back, pick up a third, and get Graham Barton in the first, that's a hell of a magic trick that they just pulled off.
Yeah, they're winning their fans back. Are they pulling you back in?
Yeah, it happens every year. I'm a sucker for punishment.
I listened to some insider. Lost my draft feed. And it captures one. All right. I think. What do we think here for the Bucks? This was one I had a lot of trouble mocking.
I saw who they picked already, so I'm gonna.
Am I that far behind? What's going on here?
No, it's not on the TV.
Oh, Twitter. Yeah.
I was bouncing between the Gilded Chat and on Twitter and I saw who picked.
Yeah, no worries. All right, what were you thinking before you saw it, or what was it? What you were expecting?
I was thinking JPJ, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I was thinking that, or maybe Newton, or Graham Barton, maybe. I'm thinking something on the trenches.
Yeah.
You can spoil it if you would like.
Barton.
Wicked's not going to like that.
No. He back to back, his two players he mentioned went.
That definitely, yeah, I mean, that makes sense for the Bucks. They also kind of have needs all over their offensive line.
What do you think the Cardinals do here next?
That is a prime Johnny Newton spot. I think I had that actually in my mock. Yeah, that's what I'm probably thinking. Maybe something in the secondary. Maybe they could go to Gene.
They could go Robinson too.
Darius Robinson.
Darius, yeah.
Yeah. He's just a weird player to me that I haven't really been able to figure out, honestly.
Yeah, I saw a couple mocks when I was looking at the Rams' potential, them grabbing him in the second round. I don't know if I would take him in the first.
Yeah, that was my thinking too. But then when I saw he was attending the draft, I was like, oh, is he definitely going day one?
Mm-hmm.
Or he just wants to sit in the green room all night, I guess.
Yeah, I would not want to be there unless I knew for sure I was going.
It's not so bad if you're Darius Robinson, who nobody like really cares about. But if you're a quarterback and you're not sure if you're going, that would be miserable.
Well, not this year, right?
Yeah, nope, none of that. Man. I haven't even opened up Twitter yet. I can't wait.
It's just crazy to me. Like, are the TV feeds that far delayed, or are like they getting it from somewhere else?
Well, because the pick is already in, so it gets somebody know. Like once the pick is submitted, some people know about it. So I guess it just like gets out.
The Arizona pick is already on Twitter now.
Ugh.
It's like I don't understand it.
That's so annoying. I think it's just those like NFL insider guys. It's like a competition to them. Like they're trying to be the one who does it, and it's like nobody wants to hear from you.
Yeah.
Well, there goes Graham Barton.
Yep. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But great. I think that's a great pick for the Bucks. They also had needs all over their line, and we're getting Graham Barton lacrosse videos. Okay.
It's been a marathon.
I know. We're losing a little bit of steam, I think. I don't think this will happen, but if the Cardinals were to take just another receiver, that would be a pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean they could use one.
Yeah. I'm a big Michael Wilson guy, but he was one of my favorites last year. Well, Darius Robinson, all right. Yeah, he must have had like a guarantee from them that he wasn't getting past them.
I guess so. Who does Buffalo take?
The fantasy community is on their knees begging for a receiver.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about Mitchell. I think Worthy makes sense too. They need a deep threat of some kind. But you're definitely right that he also is that smaller, twitchy type.
Yeah, I think they could
They
use
already
him.
have.
And I mean, Mitchell's got some speed. He's not slow.
Oh, he ran
ran
about
4.3.
He's very fast.
He's got speed and he's got size. I think Worthy's a better receiver than he is just as a total package, but you gotta put some stock into size at the receiver position.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Mitchell's game. The whole like maturity effort stuff is one I don't really know what to make of that. But just from a tape perspective, Mitchell is one of my favorites. I really like him.
ESPN jumping on the Kirk Cousins is shocked reporting.
I mean, that feels like when you are in your like draft meetings or whatever, and you're thinking like you are really thinking we're going to take Penix at 8. I mean, the first thing that would come to my mind is we got to tell Kirk about this.
Bills traded the pick.
Wow.
To who?
Doesn't say who. It just says Bills are trading the 28th pick. That was a sleeper notification that just popped up.
That's it. I don't think they're breaking news too often, but I just saw the Gilded chat. It's the Chiefs. Oh, yep, there it is on the stage. Interesting. What could that be for?
I gotta think they're coming up for a receiver.
I don't know. I mean, I guess that.
Unless they're jumping you guys for one of the tackles.
Yeah.
Good. I hope they jump in front of us and take Guyton.
What do you think the Cowboys would do then if they were planning on taking Guyton?
Well, so if JPJ's
say that last name,
if JPJ's like totally off the board for them, I could see them taking a guy like Zach Frazier or trying to trade back again.
Yeah.
They might at that point they might try to trade out of the first round entirely.
Oh man, yeah.
How do you say that other O tackle's last name? That Kingsley
Suamataya.
I've seen a couple projections of him in the late first round.
I don't think he's a first round talent though.
I actually did have him going to the Chiefs at 32 in mind. You get to a certain point and you're like out of first round caliber players and you're like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, 32 picks. There's maybe 18 first round talents.
If this is Mitchell, he is going to soar in dynasty rankings.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or Worthy, if it's a receiver of any kind.
Yeah, what if it's Worthy and Rice?
That'd be weird for this year because they signed Hollywood Brown, who I think is like a pretty good comp for Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
But that's a 1-year deal, so I don't think that would affect anything.
I think that AD, similar to what we were talking about with the Bills, fits what the Chiefs need a little better. Because at least for this year, because they do have Hollywood, who is Xavier Worthy-ish. And then Rice is a short to intermediate guy to do the yak stuff with. They could really use an outside go receiver. That's got some wheels. I think that AD makes a ton of sense for them. And who knows, maybe with a quarterback that can really put it on him, he can thrive.
Man, watching Worthy and Mitchell's tape, Quinn Ewers, man, public enemy number one.
Yeah, some of the throws were just really sad.
I don't know what his deep ball, like, I don't know if it's because of the shoulder injury, but this year in particular, one of the worst deep balls I've ever seen from a quarterback.
He can't get anything on it.
It just throws them all like 800 feet in the air.
Either you guys see the compensation for the pick yet?
No.
Not.
Can't find it. Schefter saying they're taking a receiver for sure.
I think it's probably Worthy. Worthy is my guess. Which makes me wonder if Dallas was going to take him and the Chiefs jumped ahead.
Yeah.
Wild that the Bills would help the Chiefs out in any way, shape, or form.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, it feels like, even though it's not an in-division trade, it feels like it.
Yeah, well, when you get knocked out of the playoffs by the same team over and over again, like, I'm not trading with you. Especially not trading down so that you can come up and get the better player.
Right, yeah.
I want to know what the Chiefs gave up.
The Bills are also the team that originally traded with the Chiefs so the Chiefs could get Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, it's Worthy. That is interesting.
I like it.
Yeah, no, I mean I do too. Tank Dell is their comp. That's fun. I mean, it's a very Chiefs receiver. I guess that's their new Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. I got to think Worthy's going to be wide receiver 4 in rookie drafts now. He might even be wide receiver 3. He might get bumped above Odunze based on opportunity share.
That would be crazy, I think. I like Worthy. I think he's a good player. And for redraft, yeah. But in Dynasty, I think landing spot is just generally overemphasized in Dynasty. And when you have a play like Odunze is like in my opinion, like multiple tiers ahead as a player.
Yeah, well, I agree, but how many targets is he going to get?
Well, just this year, but like in Dynasty, you shouldn't just be thinking about this year.
No, but I mean, can we assume that it'll improve year 2? I mean, look what happened with JSN. Everybody thought give him a year, Lockett will be gone, he'll move into that wide receiver 2 role. Didn't happen.
Yeah, Keenan Allen's much older than Lockett, and I think Odunze even is tiers above JSN as a prospect.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Like I don't think I wouldn't be surprised if Odunze showed up and was the best receiver on that team, to be honest. Like I think DJ Moore and Keenan Allen are both like fringe top 20 receivers. I wouldn't be surprised if Odunze is that right away. But I don't know, I mean, we'll see.
It's certainly going to be hard to project since it's an entire new offense, basically.
Yeah.
New quarterback, 2 new receivers. Who knows how things are going to shake out?
Yeah. Shane Waldron does love his 12 or his 11 personnel, so I think they'll all be on the field like most of the time. But yeah, where the actual targets go, I don't know.
They're going to stretch these last 4 picks past midnight.
Oh, man.
I wish they could, if they're going to do it this late, could at least do them on Friday and not Thursday.
Right. Start an hour earlier or something.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Are we disappointed?
There it is.
Yay. Well, I hope that the offensive line coach is ready to put some work in this offseason because he's going to need it.
Yeah, he's definitely raw, but are they going to ask him to start right away?
I feel like they have to.
Right. That's kind of the thing. Like, if he had gone to a team like the Jets, who like they did take a tackle even though they have 2 starters, like that would make sense. Like something like that where there's starters in place, but this is that's a lot to ask of him to start immediately.
Yeah, it is. I'll reserve my judgment for the season, but I don't. My gut reaction is not awesome.
Can't get his hat on.
All right, we're almost home. 3 more picks.
There. I do feel a little bit better about it knowing that they did slide back a little bit, pick up a 3rd round pick, though.
Yeah.
That makes me feel a little better because they really were lacking. They really needed that one more pick in the top 100 to kind of solidify some spots. So hopefully Guyton works out.
Coach gave the thumbs up and Gilded. He's on board.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, sometimes you see players improve more than you would think, even just from the time they get drafted to the start of the season.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely got potential. He's not like, I don't think he's some sort of scrub or anything like that. I think he's got some pretty well-defined flaws that I'm not sure will be able to get worked out of him.
Mm-hmm.
What do the Ravens need?
Receiver?
Yeah. I
Offensive line.
think I saw that they paid Rashad Bateman yesterday.
They did,
Today. That's how desperate they are for receivers, that they're re-signing Rashad Bateman.
Mel Kiper's still throwing out his Cooper DeJean #1 player available.
Where else could they even go with this pick? Newton, maybe?
My TV just asked if I'm still there. That's how long.
We're in home stretch here. 3 more.
3 more.
So there were what, 3 total trades, assuming there's nothing else?
Wow.
Oh,
Poor Mel Kiper.
Yeah. Vikings traded up, right? With the Jets.
yeah. There's that. The Cowboys.
Cowboys
and
traded back. Kansas City traded up.
Yeah. I think that was it.
Oh, and the Jags, right?
Jags traded back.
Yeah, the Jags traded back.
Yeah, who went up there?
The Vikings.
Right.
Viking.
I'm kind of surprised by Nate Wiggins there. I don't know why. Just doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't feel like a very Raven type player, but
I'm just rooting for every cornerback over Dijon now to go, just so he's
it'll be the 3rd round and be like the number 8 overall player is still on the board.
Niners look at receiver here if they're thinking about trading Ayuk.
It's possible. I think they probably address that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I feel like there aren't really any first round tackles still on the board, and that's where they were typically thought to go. They could use a corner. They could take Tajin. I also wonder now, do the Bills still go? I mean, they could still take Mitchell probably.
I think that'd be a good fit for them.
Yeah.
Do you ever see what they got? What'd they get? Trading back.
I haven't seen a trade package. Chiefs traded picks 32, 95, and 221 to the Bills for numbers 28, 133, and 248.
So they move up from what, like 150 to 100 ish?
No,
Go to bed,
we
please.
in my room.
So the Bills traded back from 28 to 32, and then they're going to move up from 133 to 95 and up from 248 to 220. So those are two pretty solid jumps, but later in the draft. They only had to move back 4 spots at the end of the round.
Right.
So
Yeah.
while we're waiting on this pick, I'm going to run this ad here for you guys. Looking for a place to connect with fellow fantasy football fanatics? Well, look no further than our Gilded server. Join the Title Tribe where you can chat, strategize, and debate about all things football. Whether you're swapping lineup advice, discussing the latest trades, or fearlessly defending your favorite player, our Gilded server is the perfect spot to hang out with like-minded fans. Our Gilded server is free to join, and the link can be found in the video description or on our website at toiletstotitles.com. We look forward to seeing you in the tribe.
Wow. I just saw their pick. I
Surprised?
can't wait more. Yeah, I'm shocked.
Oh,
I wouldn't say shocked, but if they went receiver, just not the receiver, I would.
Oh, now I'm really interested.
What'd I miss?
I saw the Niners are going receiver, not close to the receiver I thought they would go.
Really?
I'm very excited now. So I don't even.
Any guesses?
Like, if I'm gonna guess a surprising one, Leggett maybe. Or like, well, all right, Roger's walking out now, so.
Right?
Oh my God. I mean, he's like he was my favorite player in the draft, honestly. I have him, I'm higher on Ricky Pearsall than anybody. I'm stunned. Oh my
In
God.
the first.
I mean, I'm like, it's earlier than I expected him to go, but I don't even think that's like too early. I think he's really, really good. Wow, that is stunning.
Bills are trading out of 32.
Oh, wow.
And where are they going? What did it just say? Trading out of 32. The Panthers are coming up from 33. So they're going back one more.
Panthers coming up to get a 5th-year option, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think this is probably either receiver or Newton or maybe a corner.
So Schefter just said that they don't have a deal close to trade any of their receivers, but all 3 of their receivers could be moved. Because their third, Juwan Jennings, is only on a 1-year contract. So
They just re-signed him though.
did they?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe I don't know. That's a really weird landing spot for fantasy because he goes so much higher than you think. He's a first-round pick, but he's in such a crowded, like, there's not much room for targets there, and what's already not a very high-volume passing offense.
So you said you love Purcell. Where did you have him projected to go? Like,
I wanted the Steelers to take him in the second round. That's kind of the range I thought he might go. I figured he'd go somewhere in the second. I never even considered the idea of him going in the first round, to be honest. And he's one of my favorite players in the draft. The Niners do always go with kind of weird skill position picks. A lot of them have not been very good, but
Bills receive 33 and a 5th-round pick. Panthers get a 6th-round pick back.
Come on, Carolina, put us out of our misery.
I know the Bills are only moving like back a couple spots, but if they're really looking at receiver, they're just watching receiver after receiver go on every one of these picks.
Yeah.
Especially if the Panthers do it here too.
Right. Although I can't imagine Pearsall was their guy.
No. Here we go.
Leggett.
Leak it, Goodell says.
Really? They just drafted Jonathan Mingo again. Congrats, guys.
Another receiver off the board for Buffalo.
Yeah, I really don't like this pick. But what do I know? Xavier Leggett is my wide receiver 18.
Yeah, I would put him well below a lot of guys that are still available.
I actually wrote his player profile on Toilets to Titles, and I think I said I would take him in like the third or I'd take him in like the fourth round, maybe.
Yeah. Do you think Bills go AD?
I hope so.
I think that's a great pick for them. I think he's a good fit for what they need.
Yeah.
I think it would definitely help AD as well to be saddled to a good quarterback.
Yeah,
sure.
All right, guys. Well, round one is over. Thanks for hanging out and coming through the 4-hour first round of the draft. There were definitely a couple of surprises, but I think all in all, it was pretty exciting first round. I know Joseph's gonna be back tomorrow to give you guys some round 2 coverage, and I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with us.
Yep.